keys to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Summer is fast approaching, and it's a great time to get ready for the busy season with help from WaFd Bank. They offer services like Collect Early, which opens your cash flow for the things you need, like hiring summer staff or expanding your product line. Collect Early helps you get your invoices paid in hours, not weeks. What could your business do with more money? Take things to the next level with WaFd Bank and find bankers with the knowledge and services to meet your business goals. WaFd Bank, built for business. WaFdBank.com, member FDIC.
Guys, it's Men's Health Month at Revive Seattle. Get a free comprehensive wellness panel. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, heart health, and more. Valued at $400. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump says without the National Guard and 700 Marines he's deploying to Los Angeles, the city would be, quote, burning to the ground. California's Governor Gavin Newsom has called it a blatant abuse of power. The Pentagon pegs the cost of that deployment of Marines and Guard troops at $134 million. After 4 days of protests, CBS's Elise Preston says it's a calm morning in L.A.
It is a very much different scene. Not a lot of police presence out here. Traffic is flowing. These streets have opened back up. In front of the federal building, you will find some National Guardsmen standing at the ready. I just took a gander over there. They do have batons in hand.
And on Capitol Hill,
Democratic Minnesota Representative Betty McCollum compared the immigration protest in L.A. to those held in Minneapolis after the police killing of George Floyd.
This looks nothing like the George Floyd protests or the Rodney King riots in Los Angeles.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the National Guard there was called in far too late.
The police precinct, ma'am, was abandoned and burned to the ground.
Hegseth says the nation ought to be able to enforce immigration law. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
There's a new call for tariff relief, as we hear from CBS's Jim Crisula.
U.S. companies that do business in Vietnam have called on the Trump administration to lower tariffs on Vietnamese exports to the U.S. The Southeast Asian manufacturing hub that includes Vietnam has the third biggest trade surplus with the U.S. after China and Mexico.
Overseas, Ukrainian officials say 3 people were killed, 13 wounded when Russia unleashed large-scale missile and drone attacks today. In Austria, 9 people were shot and killed at a school in the city of Graz. CBS's Holly Williams.
Austria's interior minister says that the suspect in the attack was a former student at the secondary school where the shooting took place, but did not graduate. The Austrian police say the suspect was a 21-year-old Austrian man who they believe acted alone. They say he used 2 guns during the attack and later killed himself at the scene.
Disney will pay Comcast's NBC Universal more than $400 million for its stake in Hulu, taking full control of the streaming service. At the BET Awards last night, Jamie Foxx accepted an Ultimate Icon Award 2 years after suffering a stroke and subsequent coma.
When I saw that memoriam, I was like, man, that could have been me. I don't know why I went through what I went through, but I know my second chance I'm not going to turn down.
And on Wall Street right now, stocks are higher. The Dow is up 35 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We have reporters tracking the search for Travis Decker. We'll bring you updates throughout the morning. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, let's start with good news. I'm seeing speed limit drives from Olympia to Tacoma. And let's get to the not so great news. The worst spot of the morning has been I-5 from Federal Way to Seattle. So many cars on the road led to gridlock. But it does look like the drive is lightening up just a little bit. Cars on the road led to that as well. There's no blocking incidents. 79 minutes to make that drive. Still seeing heavy volumes on 405 northbound Renton to Bellevue. That's a 45-minute drive. Delays getting into Seattle from Bellevue too, with backups on the I-90 bridge going westbound. Traffic brought to you by ProSculpt. ProSculpt, the one-day permanent fat loss and skin tightening solution for men and women, offered by New Skin MediSpa in Bellevue. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Law enforcement helicopters are circling the mountains near Blewett Pass, south of Leavenworth. They're looking for Travis Decker. He's the father suspected of killing his 3 daughters, whose bodies were found in his car a week ago at an abandoned campsite. Trails have been closed and people with homes in the area have been asked to lock their doors. We have a reporter following those developments and will bring you any critical news live. A teen and an adult are now in custody for the killing of a Kent Meridian High School student last summer. KIRO 7 says the teen was found shot at Campus Park on June 3, 2024. Police say it took nearly a year of interviews and search warrants to crack that case. The Red Bridge fire just east of Cle Elum is contained this morning after scorching 50 acres. KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha is there.
There are still some embers burning up there, and this is about maybe 300 yards from Route 970, so very close to the roadway.
About 60 firefighters remained on the scene overnight to keep watch. Authorities believe yesterday afternoon's fire was human-caused, a good reminder as these temperatures soar here to be fire-wise. If you're in Seattle, police are asking you to look out for a teen who's been missing for more than 2 years. Ray Reed is 17 now. He was picked up from his home in Sequim by a friend in March of 2023 and was last seen getting into a woman's car. The Clallam County Sheriff's Office says the family has no idea what happened to him, but they believe he might be in Seattle now. You can find a photo of him and a link to submit an anonymous tip on mynorthwest.com. And this weather update brought to you by State Roofing. And exterior 64 degrees right now and sunny. We're going to have partly sunny, partly clouds, a high of 81 degrees. Overnight lows dip to the mid-50s, just like last night. And we're going to have really good weather all this week with highs tomorrow in 75. I'm looking Thursday 68 and no rain that I can see in the forecast right now. 68 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Tuesday, June 10th. Now, Ursula, my girl Amanda Factor came out. She came out there because she, as you know, I do SMN towards the end of their show. And she comes out and she says, whoa, man. Then it says, Ursula, don't know how you do it for 3 hours. And to which you said, I'm used to it. And I was thinking,
it's a lot of fun.
Hey, man, it can be a lot. I know, especially when I'm really going on the topic, but I'm ready to bring it again. Let's go, Ursula. Good morning to you.
Well, this is one of those days that we have so many news stories to get to. We are bursting at the seams, so we have to extend our top stories into 2 segments.
True.
So we're going to talk about everything from another high-profile person being targeted in a home invasion.
Yeah.
A rapper that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's a woman who stole from her employer and then stole some more while waiting for sentencing. And yet, the sentence is going to seem like really light. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've got so much to talk about. So maybe we should get to it.
All right. Ursula's top stories of the day brought to you by Bath Fitter Northwest.
A massive manhunt is zeroing in on a location near Leavenworth where authorities believe the father accused of murdering his 3 daughters may be hiding out. And they're focusing their search in the Ingalls Creek area. This is along Highway 97 near Peshaston. And deputies are telling people who live in that area to lock their doors, take precautions immediately. If you see something, say something by calling 911. We're also getting newly released autopsy results that show that 9-year-old Peyton, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 5-year-old Olivia died of suffocation. The girls had each been found with plastic bags over their heads, and their wrists were zip-tied. Ariana Kozart is an attorney for the girls' mother, Whitney, and she says Travis Decker was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder after returning from combat in Afghanistan.
He struggled, I think, with feeling that he was worth a family. That his life was worth that. And he sought resources. A lot of that we didn't know before he abducted the girls.
And she told KIRO 7 TV that Travis had been homeless, he'd been living in his car, and that had led to restrictions regarding overnight visits. But before these horrific murders, she says there were no real red flags. Now, there has been a GoFundMe set up for the girl's mom, Whitney, and that has raised more than $1.2 million.
Yeah, it's really hard to discuss this topic. I know some of you, it's probably hard for you to listen to this topic. When you talk about 3 precious lives taken away, those little girls should be here. Ursula, when I hear you give the news and talk about how this is someone that they really kind of didn't really see that many signs that would make them think that something like this would happen, and to know that he was trying to get help after coming out of the military. But it also is proof for all of us. Not saying that we know what he's going through, but it's proof that things sometimes in our lives, we can be okay on Monday. And on Tuesday, something is just off with us as well. I don't know what that's like. I can't relate to that. But Ursula, I can, and I think there's been, you talk about mental health, there are times in our lives where you wake up or you have a day where you're just not okay. Fortunately or unfortunately, some people go seek help and some people don't, and they try to tough it out.
You're right, and I want to make sure, because yesterday we talked about this, and I shared some of this audio from KIRO 7 TV with the attorney, and they're saying that they had no idea. That all said, I mean, he is a monster. What he is accused of doing is horrific. He needs to pay for what he did. And if assuming he is still alive, I hope they catch him. So I want to make that clear. Obviously, something happened. You have to be not right in the head to do something so horrific to your own children. But there's no excusing it. It might be an explanation. There's no excusing it. And I hope that they are able to find him. And it looks like he was looking up how to get jobs in Canada. I mean, there was thought. It was premeditated. There was thought that went into it. Like, how am I going to get away with this?
Yeah. You're right. He is a monster. He's a monster. Him killing his kids, there is no justification for that. As we talk about this topic, and I hope that going forward, how can America do its best to eliminate this from happening?
Yes.
Right? Like, this person is a monster. He'll get caught. He'll suffer consequences, no doubt. But now we have to do our best to make sure that we don't have another situation like that, or even more. Not saying that, America can be perfect, but America can be better. We all can be better at addressing and having these conversations instead of waiting until something truly happens.
Yes. I agree with that. Another thing that I've seen, and I wanted to mention this GoFundMe, which was set up for the girl's mom, more than $1.2 million. And Chef, I think you'd mentioned that this might be one of the
I think it might be number 1 now. It was number 2 as of Friday.
Okay. So in terms of GoFundMe, what do you make of that? What does that tell you? I mean, I look at it as we are generous people. People are desperate to do something. They want to do something for this mom. But I also see people criticizing this GoFundMe.
I mean, that's unfortunate, but it's still in the same line. We have a lot of people that are anti-human decency, right? To criticize this family, the mom, having a GoFundMe, to see how the community and everyone around it has felt like they wanted to do something, so they give money to this GoFundMe, whether it's 1.5 million, 2 million, 10 million, 20 million. I don't care what the number gets to. There is no number that GoFundMe gets to that will bring back her 3 girls. Mm-hmm. She doesn't live now. Let me just say this truthfully, okay? The Gee and Ursula Show will probably talk about this topic. What's today? Tuesday? We'll probably talk about this topic, considering they're looking for him right now. They're close to finding him. Whatever happens with that, the Gee and Ursula Show might be done talking about this topic on Friday. This mom has to live with this for the rest of her life. Mm-hmm. So to criticize a GoFundMe, you lack human decency.
I would love to hear from you. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. President Trump has now ordered the deployment of 700 Marines along with an additional 2,000 National Guard members to Los Angeles. He says the troops are there to protect federal facilities and staff on a potential 5th day of protests. As CBS's Elise Preston reports, though, last night's demonstrations were generally calmer, although some protesters were hit with tear gas, flashbangs, and non-lethal munitions.
People kind of lingered on these streets for a few hours until in the late hours yesterday when they came in, they pushed them through again, and then they started to detain people. But we did not see the images that we had seen the night before that or before that. We didn't see that chaos erupt to that level.
And I know a lot of people on our text line were asking, why are these massive deportation raids happening in L.A. suddenly? So according to the Wall Street Journal, White House Chief Advisor Stephen Miller gave ICE a quota demanding that they just go out and arrest, in his words, illegal aliens.
Under President Trump's leadership, we are looking to set a goal of a minimum of 3,000 arrests for ICE every day. And President Trump is going to keep pushing to get that number up higher each and every single day so we can get all of the Biden illegals that were flooded into our country for 4 years out of our country.
So sources tell the Wall Street Journal that at a recent White House meeting, Miller directed the agents to target Home Depots, where, as you know, day laborers will typically gather there for hire, or he also said 7-Eleven convenience stores. He said that he bet that he and a handful of agents could go on the streets of Washington, D.C., and they could arrest 30 people right away. And he asked for a show of hands and said, who here thinks they can do it? So California Governor Gavin Newsom, as we have been reporting, has been fighting the deployment of the military to L.A. He says President Trump's orders are only escalating the tensions and creating fear and chaos. And all of this, he says, is for political gain. On Monday, Trump said, you know what? It would be a great thing if Border Czar Tom Homan arrested the governor, who he refers to as Gavin Newsom. A reporter asked Trump, well, what crime did the governor commit to warrant an arrest?
I think his primary crime is running for governor because he's done such a bad job. What he's done to that state is like what Biden did to this country. And that's pretty bad. It's the wrong philosophy.
For his part, Governor Newsom is unfazed. He tells MSNBC, yeah, Homan should go ahead and do it.
He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? He knows where to find me. But you know what? Lay your hands off 4-year-old girls that are trying to get educated. Lay your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes. Been here 10 years. The fear, the horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
It's too late. And what I mean by it being too late is, first, I want to go back to Donald Trump and his campaign and what they campaigned on and the signs that we saw at the Republican National Convention. They had signs of mass deportation. They talked about mass deportation. When he was elected president, Ursula, you and I, we get on this show from November till about January 20th. Between that time, we talked about things that he campaigned on. We talked about Project 2025. We talked about a lot of things that he was going to do. And in most of the time, we were fear-mongering. Most of the time is, you don't know that. No, that he wants to just go after the criminals. He wants to go after the murderers. He wants to go after the rapists. My buddy of mine down in L.A. at a middle school graduation, ICE raided the graduation.
This is the friend you were talking about?
Yes. ICE raided the graduation. Yeah, they're going to the Home Depots. But when I said it's too late, it might sound like I'm giving up. No. It's not that I'm giving up. I knew that if Donald Trump got back in office, I knew mad hysteria would occur. And he got in office because there were so many people. We were talking about egg prices. We were talking about the price of a gallon of milk. We're talking about groceries. We're talking about all the little small things that got him in office. And one last thing I'll share with you. Ursula, I was on the phone with someone older in my family. And when I say older, they were born in the 40s. And so they said to me, well, you know what? I'm okay with them going to deport all of them undocumented immigrants. By the way, someone close to 80 years old does not say undocumented immigrants. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know that. I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with that because black folks here in this country have never gotten anything. And when they come here in this country, they get more than we got.
Right? I've heard that.
Okay, right. To which I said respectfully, it was wrong then, and it's wrong now. It doesn't start to be wrong. Like, we are really talking about going after a lot of people that are really law-abiding citizens, that are really trying to...
that they came here without the documentation. And by the way, people think it should be really easy. And I know what you're saying. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Gee, and I want you to continue.
Cool.
But it's not as easy as, hey, I can just go file and get paperwork. It is a many years process. Mm-hmm. And we have talked about the need for dramatic immigration reform. And my question, I guess, to all of you who did support President Trump, was this what you expected for ICE agents to go to graduations, to Home Depots, to 7-Elevens, and to grab, as many people as possible that way, even if it meant separation from kids, at these schools? I guess that's the question I ask, and I would like to hear from you. 888-973-5476, 888-9730, KIRO.
In Rocky IV, Adrian did not want Rocky to go fight Ivan Drago. And she actually came out and she said to him, you can't win. She told him that. I feel like Adrian right now. We can, and I'll tell you guys why. First of all,
we can't afford that.
Okay,
though.
well,
Okay,
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm about to be a 50-year-old black man. I'm still seeing racism. As a matter of fact, I'd argue that it is more monetarily, it will increase your income if you are racist and you put that filth out to a certain base. That'll happen. That's one. Two, we will politicize things over human decency. And so when I see this and I see it continued, sure, Ursula, I come in here with you every day and I try to do my best. Now, some days I'd say today is a bad day, but some days I don't. But what I'm saying is we are talking about people that are considered illegal that are here on stolen land from indigenous people. there is a vice grip that is happening where racism and political theater wins every time.
Which is why I think we need to, and I'm gonna go a little bit long here, Nick, because we need to have the energy of folks who are out there peacefully protesting, like this guy in LA who was speaking with the National Guard troops, and he was basically challenging them and asking them why they were there.
Feel tough with your assault rifles and your sticks? You should be standing here with us. You're on the wrong side of history. We know you got a job to do, but you took an oath to the Constitution, not to the fascists in the White House. Think about what you're doing now. Think about what this means. Coming into our community. Peaceful community. People working their jobs. They send in men in military fatigues. Weapons of war into our communities. And you stand here and you allow it. I am sick and tired of it. You should be sick and tired of it. You think any of these people in the White House sending you these commands give a f*** about you? Not one of them do. They laugh at you. Our president laughs at you. He calls you fools. He said the people who died overseas in the military were chumps. That's who you're offending right now. Think about your place in history, ladies and gentlemen.
I just want to say, I mean, you may or may not agree with what he said there, but there are people who are fighting. There are people in Seattle, there are people all over the country who are fighting what is happening and pleading for more compassion and human decency. And I guess I just want to amplify that energy versus being okay with what's going on right now.
Not okay.
And we are all in agreement. The murderers, the rapists, et cetera, they need to go and they need to be arrested. But what is happening right now cannot be acceptable.
And I hear that. And Ursula, I thank you for taking a pause, playing that great sound. 104 years ago in Tulsa, Oklahoma, race massacre. Nearly 300 people killed. Atlanta massacre, 1906. Chicago race war, 1919. We are repeating history all over again. The difference is they're brown folks. Now, again, I will agree that today I am a little on the glass half empty, but I don't see any further evidence to start to change my mind any other way, considering that you had a choice between Kamala Harris and a felon. And why did that felon get in office? Because political theater and racism reigns supreme right now. And I hope tomorrow, I hope a week from now, I hope 10 years from now, that people will listen to what I said and they'll say, see, G, you were wrong. I would love to be wrong. I would wish I'd be wrong. But the reason why I'm not wrong is because the people that are in power, most people that are to make the decisions, their kids aren't affected. Their kids are fine. They don't have black and brown kids. So their families are good. Their grandkids are good. They have no idea what it is like to feel this, the fear.
And I hear you loud and clear, but look at who is out there protesting. And I just pray that it stays nonviolent. Because look and see who's out there protesting.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff, Ursula. At 9:47, we will talk about Seattle being the capital of something here in the United States. But Ursula, you said we would continue.
We're bursting at the seams. We're bursting at the seams with stories.
What you want to do?
Our state attorney general has announced yet another lawsuit. We got that. We also have how burglars are cracking into the homes of Seattle athletes and how are they getting past alarms. This is something you all need to hear because we're all vulnerable. So we're going to share that coming up next.
Gee Ursula.
When the heat's in 11, cool AC would be heaven. dayandnight.net.
Beat the rush.
Act now before summer,
'Cause that heat's a real bummer.
dayandnight.net.
This is the time to plan ahead so you stay cool this summer. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Call us about installing a high-efficiency cooling system or servicing your existing one so you're cool when you need it.
Get 10% off an air conditioner or heat pump. Call for details. dayandnight.net.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Reutin, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, inviting you to come work with IRG. And Shannon, what kind of staff are you looking for at IRG?
Brock, we're looking for all kinds of clinical staff, physical therapists, occupational therapists, athletic trainers, certified occupational therapy technicians, physical therapy assistants, you name it on the clinical side. We are looking for those folks. But we are really looking for folks that want to come to an organization that want to be part of our culture and change the culture and work with us to provide the best care and service we can to our patients, our team, and our community. So those clinical people out there, we're looking for you. We also provide advanced certification. We want to provide you mentorship. We want you to grow personally and professionally here at IRG.
And with over 40 clinics throughout the Pacific Northwest, you've got the opportunity to work in the city you want. Just head over to irgpt.com/careers. That's irgpt.com/careers.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem.
Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. President Donald Trump is set to double the number of National Guard troops being deployed to immigration protests in Los Angeles and adding 700 Marines.
The people that are causing the problem are professional agitators, they're insurrectionists, they're bad people, they should be in jail.
But L.A. Mayor Karen Bass says it's not needed.
The raids need to stop, and then the crowds will stop.
The state has filed a lawsuit to roll back that National Guard deployment. Democratic Congressman Jimmy Gomez.
This isn't leadership. It's a deliberate attempt by Trump to incite unrest, test the limits of executive power, and distract from the lawlessness of his administration.
It's the first time since 1956 that a president has sent National Guard troops to a U.S. city without a governor's approval. Seattle has also had protests in solidarity. We'll be monitoring federal buildings and will bring you any updates locally. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says he is purging the CDC's influential panel of outside vaccine advisors. CBS News' Alexander Tin reports.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says he is ousting all of the members of the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, the influential panel of outside experts that votes on vaccine recommendations tied to an array of federal policies ranging from requirements for insurance coverage to liability protections. Kennedy said that he will replace all of the members with his own picks in order to, quote, reestablish public confidence in vaccine science. It comes after Kennedy overrode the agency's outside experts, ordering the CDC to rewrite its COVID vaccine recommendations for children and pregnant women.
Our top local story, the search for Travis Decker, the father suspected of murdering his 3 daughters. Police air support has been circling the rugged mountains south of Leavenworth, and people with homes near the Ingalls Creek area have been asked to stay inside, lock their doors, and call 911 if they see anything suspicious. The union representing Pierce County Sheriff's Office rank-and-file employees overwhelmingly rejected County Executive Ryan Mello's latest contract proposal. Union President Sean Darby tells the Jason Rance Show on KTTH the vote was 290-1.
He's losing his sheriff's office. He's losing his members of the sheriff's office, and therefore he's going to lose public trust, lose public safety.
The contract offered a pay raise of 10% over the next 3 years. Light rail service to Redmond started just a month ago, and it's already having problems. Service has been shut down from Overlake Village and Bellevue to downtown Redmond until inspections can be completed. The Seattle Times is reporting Sound Transit is dealing with a power issue. Buses will ferry people around the closure. Trains will still run between Overlake and the South Bellevue station. Let's get a check on the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk, creeping down to about an hour from Federal Way to Seattle on I-5. That's actually down from 90 minutes about an hour ago. The east side is still seeing delays, though. Tuesday is our heaviest traffic day. Heavy traffic on 405 northbound Renton to Bellevue. That's a 41-minute drive. Southbound drive is also still a little heavy. 35 minutes Bothell to Bellevue. 29 minutes on the I-90 bridge to get into Seattle. If you really need to hurry, the 520 tolls might be worth it today. That'll save you almost 10 minutes. I-5 southbound at Northeast 145th. Disabled vehicle blocking the HOV lane. Linwood to Seattle is a 39-minute drive. This report brought to you by by flyseaportair.com, introducing convenient flights between Boeing Field and Portland on Seaport Airlines with parking just steps away and no TSA lines. Visit flyseaportair.com. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. It's going to be mostly sunny today with a high of 81 degrees. Beautiful. Overnight lows in the mid-50s. 75 degrees tomorrow, cooling down a little bit as we go through the week, but that rain that we thought we had in the forecast has disappeared. It's 68 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Tuesday to all of you. Just got this text from Brad from Grand Mount who says, what I saw on TV this morning, a lot of businesses, small and large in LA, have been broken into and decimated. Do we consider that violence or not? The answer is yes, that is violence, and that is not something that neither Gee nor I think helps with the messaging at all. So that needs to stop. That's not going to help. But we're going to continue because we got a ton of local stories to get to, including this one that Washington is now joining 15 other states in a lawsuit over the deregulation of rapid-fire gun devices. State Attorney General Nick Brown announced the lawsuit yesterday against the Trump administration and ATF over their plans to allow the sale of forced reset triggers. I didn't know what these are, so I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. He says the devices turn regular guns into machine guns, and he says that this move is another example of the administration being driven by extreme ideology instead of common sense. So there is a popular firearms YouTube channel, Gat Cat Till, and they did a side-by-side live fire comparison between an M15 rifle set on full auto, which is illegal for civilian use, versus using a forced reset trigger. So listen, this is the full auto. And then this one is with the forced reset trigger. Do you notice the difference?
Same.
Yeah. So in settling with the makers of these triggers, Attorney General Pam Bondi says her Department of Justice believes that the Second Amendment is not a second-class right. And she says, quote, "We are glad to end a needless cycle of litigation with a settlement that will enhance public safety."
Yeah. You know, to you and I, this is common sense, right? And meaning we're on the side of we want to see less lives being taken. And unfortunately, there are those who are adamant about the Second Amendment. There are those that are adamant to not do anything when it comes to gun safety or making it better. But Ursula, when your top stories come out and you talk about situations where on location there are 7 people shot at one time, right? When you're talking about 50 to 70 rounds happening. And I think in simple terms, Ursula, we know that when people say it's not guns, it's people. And I think when you say that, it misses the big picture. Yes, individuals, people, yes, they do pull the trigger. But it's the tools, it's the gun itself that makes it easier for us to lose lives. And I think that we are living in a time where so many would rather be right than get it right. You see what I'm saying? And it's all about owning these folks and owning those folks. And so, don't mean to be pessimistic, Ursula, but these are topics that we're talking about that you would really want to see pave way on this.
Well, I mean, I'm at the point where I just say, okay, we're doing another story, and great, there's going to be a lawsuit. Great that these 15 other states, or 16 now with Washington joining, they're going to try to stop this, which was a reversal from the Biden administration. And I think, bottom line, there's not much that anyone can really do to stop. I mean, other than these lawsuits, and I'm glad they're doing it, but again, why would you want these reset triggers available to anybody and everybody? I mean, like, how does that help police when they're dealing with crime?
everybody was cool with machine guns being illegal. Nobody had a problem with that. I mean, you can't. Machine guns are illegal. These are.
I'm guessing that there are people who have problems with that. They're going to text us right now. You know that.
Between you,
no one wants any. There are people who just absolutely they are triggered by any talk of any kind of firearm regulation. We are just in a country. We are in a league all our own. This country, when it comes to guns,
we're also a nation of loopholes, right? If I made $1 million and move it to the Caribbean, did I still make $1 million? No, magically I didn't. No taxes.
There you go.
But aren't we a nation of wanting better?
Yes, but everyone has a different idea of what it's going to make better. And according to our current situation and the Justice Department today, we are going to be better with the deregulation of these rapid-fire gun devices.
All right. Coming up next, we need to talk. I want to remind you that Seattle is the capital of the United States of something. And we'll talk about that next. Gee Ursula.
When the heat's in 11,
cool AC would be heaven.
dayandnight.net.
Beat the rush.
Act now before summer.
Because that heat's a real bummer.
dayandnight.net.
This is the time to plan ahead so you stay cool this summer. Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Call us about installing a high-efficiency cooling system or servicing your existing one so you're cool when you need it.
Now save $50 off our pre-summer AC tune-up.
dayandnight.net.
It's G. Scott here. I recently spoke with my good buddy Jonathan from DUI Heroes about how he and his team treat new clients. What he told me is that they always recognize the human being behind the charge and treat them the way we all would want to be treated. He and his team take care of the individual, the human being, throughout the entire process. People make mistakes. If you or a loved one has been accused of DUI, call DUI Heroes and speak to a lawyer who will listen to you and be there for you. DUI Heroes can help. 1-800-DUI-HERO or DUIHeroes.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
It's Jim Singletary, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, here to tell you the right way to choose a roofer. And it's not by choosing the lowest bid. Just comparing numbers? Terrible idea. The low price doesn't tell you if the job will be done right, and it definitely doesn't tell you anything about the contractor. Instead, treat hiring a roofer like a job interview. Ask them, why did my old roof fail early? What's the right solution for me, and why? Have you been around for at least 10 years? A new roof is a huge investment, and the job shouldn't go to the lowest bidder. It should go to the most qualified. At RoofSmart, we've got over a decade of experience, a team of more than 50 full-time pros, and real answers, not just numbers. Plus, we're certified, insured, and properly licensed. We'd love to apply for your roofing job. Call 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com today. That's 206-487-4877 or online at GetRoofSmart.com.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Good morning. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Before we get to We Need to Talk, I want to talk about the machine guns, and I want to just tell you that in some states, there are a few states here where it is legal to own a machine gun, but some of them come with restrictions. Now, however, on a federal level, the federal regulation, the National Firearms Act of 1934, regulates machine guns and other destructive devices at the federal level. This means that they can only be sold to licensed dealers or to individuals who have already purchased a machine gun before 39 years ago, which is 1986. So, wanted to cover that.
We like to keep it factual here on the Gee and Ursula Show.
For all of you saying, well, actually.
No, appreciate you keeping us in check.
Some shows do. All right, coming up here right now, we do need to talk about, I don't know if you know this, but Seattle is the sausage capital of the United States.
Oh, no.
Oboyoberto was founded in 1918 here in Seattle. So I know that there are new folks that have just moved here that are listening to KIRO Radio and the Gee and Ursula Show. So I just wanted to remind you, as you got that beef jerky in your hand, the city of Seattle, we're not only known for teriyaki, but also for sausage. So I wanted to let you know that. Now, let me move on to another topic.
Oh, okay.
This is a whole
Thank God.
This is a whole
Thank God.
This is a whole separate topic, Ursula.
Okay.
Right now, Seattle has the most male-skewed population of any major city in the United States, according to the latest census data. The city's population is 53.2% male and 46.8% female. This imbalance right here is the highest among 50 cities in the country. Now, check this out. 50 of the most populous cities. One of the reasons as this is happening, tech bros. The thriving tech industry, which, as you all know, historically has attracted and hired male workers, these high-paying jobs have had a disproportionate number of males working in it than females. So the demographics are a little off. This is a male-populated, dominated population here in Seattle. So, as you know, social dynamics, economic development, and all type of political representation can be impacted by this. Ursula, your thoughts on that? And by the way, just so you know, your son moved. Your son
on
moved.
the Gee and Ursula Show. Yeah,
Your son moved back to this.
He did, and sweet as he is, he knows that I love hearing the details of the dating trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it is really in favor of the women in the city of Seattle, for sure. I mean, and this just confirms it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough for young men to be dating in Seattle.
But
Although I also hear about women who say it's awful too.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you why it's awful. Let me tell you what it is. Yes, for women, you think that because it's 53% male, that is great.
107 men for every 100 women.
The thing is, a lot of these ladies know that some of these rich dudes with all that money ain't got the sauce. You see what I'm saying?
The sauce?
You ain't got the sauce.
The special sauce.
Yeah, man. Some people.
First you're talking about it
like
being
a fertility issue.
Sausage capital, and now you're talking about sauce.
It's a sauce. Sometimes you don't have to have money. Like, have you ever met somebody? Hear me out. Have you ever met somebody with a lot of money, but they corny as all get out? Them ladies don't want that. My man ain't got the sauce. He don't even know how to walk to his car.
Socially awkward is what you're saying.
They ain't got the sauce, Ursula.
Because they're too used to looking at the computers versus actually having face-to-face conversation.
When I was living out my car, I still had more sauce than some of these dudes.
What was your best line? What was your best opening line?
I mean, I'll tell you what.
Seriously, what worked best for you?
Seriously?
Yeah.
What's my best opening line when I open the show? You can never predict it.
That's true.
You just be yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of these dudes, like, well, ChatGPT, can you tell me how to be a single man? Or in the case of Pierce County, can you tell me how to be a sheriff on ChatGPT? You know what I mean?
Young people call it the Riz these days, G. The Riz.
Okay, what's that? Okay, no, wait, yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. If you're a tech bro and you're on a date with a lady, don't go on a tangent about semiconductors or anything like that. You want to get to know them. You want to ask them questions. You want to act like you're invested in them.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Hey, don't take them on a date to
try
the
and
Google
educate
offices.
them.
Now, Ursula, can I?
Okay, wait.
What's up?
That's such a good thing. For the guy or the gal, when you're on that date, can you make sure that you ask questions about the person you're on the date with? Don't just talk about yourself.
That's what I'm saying.
Take a breath and ask questions.
Buddy that doesn't have the sauce is going to spend his whole time at dinner. Well, yeah, I vacation here and went to private school right here. And, my parents, they have a vacation home down in Oregon. They also have a vacation home in the Dominican Republic. And so they continue to talk about themselves. And ladies, by the way, y'all tell me, am I wrong? Y'all.
Well, no, Megan in Des Moines says, went out with a guy who worked for Facebook. He was conceited, had no game. One of my worst dates ever.
Come on now.
Yeah, when you got the Riz, you ask, you give a compliment, and then you follow up with a question. You go like, hey, I like your nails. Where'd you get them done somewhere, or you do them yourself?
Right now, there's...
look at you.
Yeah, you got to come in prepared.
Look at you.
Yeah. Hey, ladies, I know some of y'all got you a husband. You know what I'm saying? He wear the same jeans every day. Same shirt all the time. He's a boring dude, but he got the sauce. He got the sauce. And I'm telling you, you can't find the sauce with money, Ursula. You know what I'm saying? Long live Mark got the sauce. That's why you've been with him for so many years. Long live Mark got the sauce. Here's an example. Hey, Ursula, go ahead, leave your car there. Just drive it to the airport. I'll go ahead and I'll take the metro and I'll go on the bus and I'll go get it. He got the sauce.
And it's not just for show. It's something that continues 30 years later.
I don't know what they had this whole saying about it ain't pimping if you got it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, some of y'all just is, All right, coming up. We got a guest coming on the show. As I told you, I get random. We got a guest coming on the show, and it's going to be...
Retired General Barry McCaffrey.
Coming up on the Gee Ursula Show.
It's hard to be a homeowner, we know. Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state. American Crawl, the heroes you call. Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
The Mariners are transforming T-Mobile Park into Seattle's hottest karaoke club for Sing-Along Fireworks Night. Don't miss an incredible post-game show this Friday presented by T-Mobile after the team squares off against the Guardians at 7:10.
He does it again! Home runs in 3 consecutive games. Cal Raleigh, the big dumper.
It's your chance to belt your heart out on the big stage to chart-topping hits and feel-good throwbacks. fireworks, and Mariners baseball. That's 2 spectacular shows in one unforgettable night.
Strike 3 call. Triple digits to end it and complete the sweep.
Visit mariners.com/fireworks to get your tickets and see the complete lineup of Mariners fireworks nights this summer, including a patriotic palooza on July 3rd and an 80s show on July 18th. Plus, check out everything else on deck at T-Mobile Park, including a Father's Day socks giveaway this Sunday thanks to Muckleshoot Casino Resorts. Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com. Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump takes aim again at California Governor Gavin Newsom, saying he's doing a bad job as he defends his move to send National Guard troops and 700 Marines to Los Angeles, scene of several days of anti-ICE protests.
If we didn't send out the National Guard, and last time we gave them a little additional help, you would have Los Angeles would be burning right now.
The Pentagon estimates those deployments will cost $134 million. Appearing before a House committee, Defense Secretary Hegseth defended the action, clashing with Democrats.
Could the Secretary please address the budget? Thank you.
You asked about the situation in Los Angeles, and we believe ICE agents should be allowed to be safe in doing their operations, and we have deployed National Guard and the Marines to protect them in the execution of their duties.
L.A. Mayor Karen Bass has joined Governor Newsom in criticizing the federal moves as heavy-handed.
They are trying to paint a picture here of utter chaos, and the irony is they contributed to the chaos. They're the reason that it started.
Many health experts are concerned after Health Secretary Kennedy fired all 17 members of the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Committee.
Kennedy says his purge will restore the public's trust in vaccines. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder, editor-at-large for public health at KFF Health News, fears Kennedy will replace medical experts with vaccine skeptics like himself, causing Americans to lose confidence in vaccinations and stop getting them.
And unfortunately, that might lead to more outbreaks, like what we're seeing with measles now in West Texas.
The American Medical Association says Kennedy's firings upend a transparent process that has saved countless lives. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Overseas, 10 people were shot and killed at a school in Austria. CBS's Holly Williams.
A large-scale police operation began this morning shortly after shots were heard at that school in Graz, which is Austria's second-largest city. That involved a tactical unit that specializes in handling hostage situations and attacks. The Austrian police now say the school has been evacuated and secured, and there is no further danger.
The suspect is also dead, a 21-year-old man said to be a former student at that school. Ukrainian officials say 3 people were killed, more wounded when Russia attacked the country with waves of drones and missiles. striking Kyiv and the southern port Odessa. In the Middle East, the BBC's Hugo Bachega on new violence in Gaza.
Israeli forces opened fire, according to witnesses, as people trying to steal flour from an aid convoy. The Israeli military said it was investigating this incident.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 112 points. The S&P is up 22. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. Protect your auto, home, and business with Progressive and get 24/7 coverage. See if you can save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Watching and waiting for updates on the search for Travis Decker. That's the father who's suspected of killing his 3 children. We'll have more in just a moment. But first, from the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, we've been monitoring the Federal Way to Seattle Drive all morning, and it is starting to look a lot more like normal. 47 minutes on I-5 Federal Way to Seattle. That's just heavy volume. Tuesday is our heaviest traffic day that we have in the week. Linwood to Seattle is a little bit struggling from an earlier disabled vehicle in the HOV lane at Northeast 145th. That's 33 minutes now, so that's looking a lot better. Renton to Bellevue, 405 north and south has just been very crammed all morning, and we are starting to get travel times that look a little bit more normal. 34 minutes Renton to Bellevue and 34 minutes Bothell to Bellevue, but the lake bridges are still pretty crammed. It's worth it actually now to take the 520 bridge into Seattle if you're coming from Bellevue. That's about a 10-minute time savings. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Law enforcement have converged on an area south of Leavenworth. They're hoping to find Travis Decker, who's accused of killing his 3 daughters. They were found last week in his truck at an abandoned campsite after he failed to return them to their mother after a court-ordered visit. KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin is on the scene.
As soon as it got just light out enough, they did send those crews in to that wooded area that they said, again, the Ingalls Creek and Valley High area. I have seen so many different types of law enforcement running up and down 97 already this morning, seemingly creating a perimeter of some sort around this area.
A crash shut down several lanes of I-5 near Kent last night where a Tesla hit another car and took off. It happened around 7:30 near Highway 516. Trooper Rick Johnson says the Tesla driver didn't stop. A woman in the other car died. The driver of that car is recovering at Harborview. The troopers are still piecing together what happened. They say they might know who the Tesla driver is, but if you have any tips to help them, please call the State Patrol. A wildfire moved quickly Monday afternoon just east of Cle Elum. The Red Bridge fire has now been contained. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibow.
They've been able to hold this at 50 acres, and they've also been able to stop the forward progress of this fire, and they do believe it is human-caused.
The Department of Natural Resources warns of a very active fire season, and we are entering it now.
We're probably going to see significant fire potential in that above normal range for the eastern side of the state, specifically the Columbia Basin, as we move through June.
They say 90% of wildfires in Washington are human-caused. The Red Bridge fire is also believed to have been caused by human activity. More hospital beds are on the way for Puyallup. Multicare is planning a new patient tower at Good Samaritan Hospital. It'll add 160 beds with space for 40 more down the road. They're also shifting 30 beds from another building. That means 230 total beds when it's done. Construction could begin in August, according to Multicare. The News Tribune reports it'll take about 2 years to finish. The State Department of Health has approved that project, and the Puyallup City Council gave it a thumbs up last month. The price tag, around $431 million. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. We are going to see highs in the low 80s today, mostly sunny across the region, a little bit windy in places. And then tomorrow things cool down just a little bit with highs about 75 degrees. And we're going to have really nice weather all week. No rain in the forecast that I can see. It is 68 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Tuesday to you, June 10th. Good morning, Ursula.
Good morning. Hey, just a reminder, as a public service announcement, that coming up this Sunday is Father's Day. In case you didn't remember or haven't been keeping track, it is, amidst the graduations and everything else you like to bring up, it is Father's Day on Sunday. So coming up at 10:30, we want to ask, what are the best Father's Day gifts?
Draws.
And why? Draws. I think you made me say that last year. In any case, text us 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And we have a guest on the line, so we're going to get right to it.
What's new at 10?
Hundreds of U.S. Marines have now arrived in Los Angeles. More arrived this morning, again, under orders from President Trump. And the president has also activated 4,000 National Guard troops to help control the protests down in L.A., despite objections from California Governor Gavin Newsom and the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass. The city has seen days of public outrage ever since the Trump administration launched a series of immigration raids on Friday. And so to help us sort all of this out, we have invited retired four-star General Barry McCaffrey to join us live on the Gee and Ursula Show. Good morning, General.
Good morning. Glad to be with you.
Thank you for joining us. So let's put this into perspective. The president ordering National Guard troops and sending in the Marines to L.A. Despite objections from the governor and the mayor. Your thoughts on that?
Well, look, this is very serious, deliberate political theater on both sides. The only real issue at stake here is Trump ran for office saying, I will close the border and I will deport 10 million illegal migrants. He's accomplished closing the border, and now he's terrorizing essentially a huge population in the United States who are here primarily illegally, but employed, paying their taxes, paying Social Security, and they're facing expulsion from the country. So is that going to happen, yes or no? These ICE raids prompted a reaction from a city that has, Los Angeles may have 1 million or more illegal migrants who are primarily, long-term living there. So it's political theater, and it's also a little hysteria on all parts. So far, the deployment of 4,000 federalized National Guard and this 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines are guarding federal property. They're not engaged with riot control. And nor are they needed. I mean, the LAPD and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department are first-rate law enforcement organizations, and they've got it well in hand. So this is a political event, and it's bad for the country.
I'm glad you brought up the 4,000 National Guard that have been deployed, and then also the active duty with the Marines. Is there a difference on the mission of the difference between the National Guard and the Marines by being there? Do they do the same thing? Do they approach it in a different way? Do they approach it in the same way? Can you tell us about the difference between the National Guard and the Marines being there?
Well, look, the important thing is that when the National Guard is activated by a state governor, and after the murder of George Floyd, there were some 96,000 guardsmen activated in over 30 states. When they are under the governor's order, they do have law enforcement authority. They can arrest people. They can do a whole range of missions. So once President Trump activated under federal authority these 4,000 California guardsmen, they lost that authority, and now they're just like any other federal military force. They're under the guidance of Posse Comitatus Act. Basically, the Constitution, the country does not want the active military involved in law enforcement. We don't want them arresting people. We don't want them collecting evidence. We don't want them investigating crimes. So far, what they're doing is guarding federal structures, which Trump has full authority to do. One of the things probably worth mentioning, because we keep talking about the Insurrection Act and whether it applies, the 1976 Presidential Powers Act, passed by Congress, gives 137 different emergency powers to the President of the United States. There are 30 ongoing declared emergencies. They get into a state of being and they never end. So the president has huge authority to act under his own discretion. Congress can then tell him to stop it, but he doesn't need to seek their approval before he takes action.
So we are speaking with retired four-star General Barry McCaffrey here on the Gee and Ursula Show and talking about the situation in L.A. And you said it was political theater on both sides. Gavin Newsom is, telling the border czar, Tom Homan, go ahead and arrest me because President Trump said, yeah, if he were Homan, he would arrest the governor. I mean, you mentioned both sides. What is happening on the side of Newsom and the mayor of Los Angeles?
Well, it's extreme levels of political immaturity on the part of the governor of California. This was outrageous, acting out this kind of fantasy. If he was arrested, it'd probably do him a lot of political good. So I think we ought to discount that. Karen Bass, I know, she's a wonderful human being, very experienced in high government. She's in a political tricky place right now. I don't envy her being caught between these two opposing forces, Newsom and Trump. But look, again, what's really at stake is ICE raids around the United States. There's no way you can get 10 million people out of the country with individual due process through the court systems. There's no way U.S. agriculture, construction, service industry can operate without these millions of illegal workers who, again, primarily are law-abiding, paying taxes, paying Social Security. So that's what the question at hand that the country needs to focus on. Congress has been absolutely useless in the whole thing. There's been no ability to get immigration reform through Congress for 2 decades now. The court system, fortunately, is still operating to protect the law. But we've got to, I think what we really need to worry about with Trump, however, isn't this issue, it's authoritarianism. He's basically ruling by decree, by executive order, and then seeing if anybody opposes them. And that's not healthy for this democracy. We're moving in the wrong direction.
And with it being in place with the Supreme Court saying that the president gets automatic immunity, cannot be charged with anything, do you foresee Donald Trump continuing this same behavior?
Until he is stopped by the court system, the media, voters, he'll proceed in direction of authoritarian rule. We will look like Hungary's Orbán administration or worse unless opposed. But I do believe we're now developing slowly effective responses. So some of these actions that Trump's taken are just on face value unconstitutional. The birthright issue is certainly a good example. And there are others. But, Congress, most important authority, bar none, is power of the purse, Article 1 of the Constitution. Congress has allowed Trump to proceed unilaterally, closing down government agencies, not spending money, moving funds to new activities. It's simply astonishing. Another one, power of Congress, is to approve, Senate approval of senior officers of government. Senior officers, I might add, adds every commissioned officer when he gets promoted has to be approved by the Senate. And Trump seems to be putting people in office, I can't figure out how he's getting away with it, that have no authority whatsoever conferred by the Senate. So Congress has failed us both parties. You know, you got sort of the goofy Democratic Party and the gangster Republican Party, and that's not a good balance either.
You are listening to retired four-star General Barry McCaffrey here on the Gee and Ursula Show. I'm going to switch gears here because I do want to ask, are we any closer to a ceasefire in Ukraine?
No, I think it's a terrible situation. Ukraine is fighting for its survival as a law-based state against a criminal Putin Russian invasion. The Russians are ill-served by Mr. Putin. There's been 1 million Russian casualties. The economy's in disarray. They are not yet winning, trying to overwhelm this country. But Trump, again, has intervened and basically said, I'm not going to support Ukraine. It's not clear that he's going to support NATO either. So the Europeans are now, I think, coming together, understanding the threat to total annihilation of the Ukrainian government is real. And the next step will be Finland, Poland, other NATO states, the Baltic Republic. So we're in a very dangerous situation there, and Ukraine deserves the support of the 50-some-odd countries that are now part of their support group.
General, in my lifetime, I have never seen a president try to be and continue to be friends with a dictator. So that's just in my experience. And you, sir, are a 4-star retired general. I want to ask you, not only have you ever seen the authoritarian way of being with Donald Trump, that's one. Someone who tries to be friends with a dictator, that's two. And have you ever seen a president lead this country, be the leader of the free world in this way?
No. Look, you know, I taught government, American government at West Point as a civilian professor. I've lectured on American government widely. I've been a cabinet officer in the government. I've been a senior military officer in the government. I'm a student of history. Trump is an anomaly. He basically has no sense to accept American norms, American values, and the governance of the Constitution. And, you know, some great writers have said that the Constitution, which is the oldest and shortest Constitution in the world, is one that only works when all the actors accept the myth of that piece of paper. And Trump doesn't accept that. So he's, on the face of it, you know, again, trying to govern by decree as a dictator, and now being opposed, but largely getting away with it. I mean, abolishing FEMA, abolishing Department of Education, putting some really unusual characters in the government. Kennedy Jr. certainly represents an example of anti-science, goofy behavior, but he's not been stopped, and the Democrats have not found a way to organize a pushback. Thank God for the media. Thank God for the court system. So far, that's been our only protection.
Why can't he be stopped?
Well, by the way, a
all
lot of what he's
three.
saying, I had a wonderful Democratic congressman in a green room on a TV show lecturing the reporters in there and me on, you miss a point that Trump is a tactical political genius. And to some extent, I think that's the case. There were grave excesses in DEI, and now he's a lot of what, for example, the Secretary of Defense has been doing is cultural wars against DEI. Some of that resonates. Even sort of a crude, simplistic, stupid stuff like Gulf of America, American acting alone, doing away with USAID. Who says we have to feed the world's starving and interfere in foreign affairs? So I think, you know, I'm grossly uneasy about the American people. Maybe 30, 40, 50% of the American people support a lot of these initiatives. So we need a public reasoned debate so that people understand what's at stake, and that's our democratic freedoms.
Would you, General, would you agree that racism and political theater is the gasoline that lights this fire?
Well, racism, among other things, but even that, it's odd how that's playing out. Trump has gained tremendous support in numbers from black males in particular and Hispanic males. So the culture war, he's managed to move very adroitly and to increase his impact, his sway in a lot of communities where you'd think his behavior has been abhorrent at face value. But yeah, I think that's part of it. But a lot of it's just xenophobic nationalism nonsense that you wouldn't think the American people would sign up for. But we're not doing a very good argument. We're not teaching civics in high school and college. You know, a lot of young people have no idea why democracy is necessary. They're actually, a lot of these polling numbers make me really uneasy, where young people say, no, I don't think the president should be accountable to the press or to Congress. So we got a real crisis in front of us. In the midterm elections coming up, there better be people of character of either party in the primaries and elected, or we're going to continue to go downhill in protecting our democratic values.
And there need to be people of character who are willing to speak up regardless of what the ramifications are. Retired four-star General Barry McCaffrey, thank you so much for joining us on the Gee and Ursula Show today.
Good to be with you.
The best Father's Day gifts and why. We discuss that next. Gee and Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
The first place you turn to for breaking news.
Protest outside City Hall.
KIRO News Radio.
James Lynch begins our team coverage live at City Hall.
Now, we are told by SPD that 4 people have been arrested for assault. For more on the counter-protesters, we go to Scott Carney.
See a group of another 10 officers come down the steps.
Closures now extended from Washington closer to the stadiums.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, and download the KIRO News Radio app to listen anytime.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
Hi, it's John Curley. You know, I've been a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic since 2009, and Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. You know what's amazing, Doctor? The feelings that you have after just a couple of months. You sleep better. Your strength and vitality, it is evident that it works. It's really a mindset, though, Dr. Mixon, because a lot of people, well, this is what's supposed to happen.
Let us help you be stronger, faster, leaner, smarter, sexier, but most important, happier. I'm less impressed by how many years I might live, but how much I live during my years. You know, the option is here. Nobody's going to make you go to longevity, but the opportunity is there, and all you have to do is take advantage of it. I don't know why anybody would not want to do what we do.
And that's where Longevity Medical Clinic comes in. So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you looking at senior living options for you or a loved one? If so, you likely have many questions like, what can I afford? How long will my savings last? And if I run out of money, will I have to move out? If these questions are weighing on you, I'm here to talk you through different solutions. Hi, I'm Amanda from Care Partners Senior Living. At Care Partners, we're focused on offering high-quality, compassionate care at very affordable prices to help stretch and preserve your assets. And if you ever run out of funds and need to convert to Medicaid, you won't have to move. We have vibrant communities throughout Western Washington, Spokane, and Arizona offering independent, assisted living, and memory care. Our caregivers are some of the most loving and genuine people you'll ever meet. Stretch your assets, preserve your estate, and never worry about moving. That's peace of mind in the Care Partners Living difference. Learn more at carepartnersliving.com. Care Partners is excited to announce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, Snohomish, and North Creek Bothell. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value, including testosterone, blood sugar, heart health, and more. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today.
You know what's faster than your paycheck? Literally everything. It's time to get your pay up to speed. With EarnIn, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the EarnIn app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. EarnIn is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day out for baseball here at T-Mobile Park.
Home. Home is where you gather. With friends. With family.
Ball to right field. It continues. Jorge Polanco.
Sometimes even folks you don't know. But in a way, you do. Because you share at least one thing in common. And one thing can be pretty powerful when it's multiplied by 40,000.
Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Welcome home.
Don't miss next week's showdown at T-Mobile Park between the Mariners and Red Sox. The boys from Beantown are visiting for a 3-game set Monday, June 16th through Wednesday, June 18th. Catch Cal Raleigh and the crew as they take on the Red Sox in this marquee matchup. Lock in your seats now at mariners.com/tickets.
If you have aging parents, you've probably worried about their bathroom. That old tub? It's a slip and a disaster waiting to happen. Hi, this is Ursula Reutin. With Bathfitter, you can convert it into a walk-in shower, custom fit, installed in just one day, and backed by a lifetime warranty. No mess, no demo, just a safer, better bathroom. Call Bathfitter today or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule your free consultation. And right now, take advantage of 0% interest for 24 months.
Many split systems give you efficient zoned heating and cooling comfort for less. Call Home Comfort Alliance for a free consultation and easy 18-month zero-interest financing. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. President Trump not backing down from his decision to deploy Marines and double National Guard presence in Los Angeles. That's in response to protests against immigration raids. He was asked about it just this morning.
It's landing as we speak, but if you want, we'll take a few questions.
Mr. President, will you invoke the Insurrection Act to deal with the situation in California?
If there's an insurrection, I would certainly invoke it. We'll see, but I can tell you last night was terrible. The night before that was terrible. We have, as you've seen, it was on most of your networks, people with big, heavy hammers pounding the concrete and pounding curbs.
The mayor of Los Angeles has said the city doesn't need help and the state is suing to roll back the deployment of the National Guard. Search teams could be hot on the trail of Travis Decker, the father at the center of the massive manhunt near Leavenworth here in Washington. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has the latest.
The search is now pinpointed on the Ingalls Creek area along Highway 97, 10 miles south of Leavenworth. I asked KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin about the feeling there on the ground.
This is the first time talking to all of my different law enforcement sources that they feel narrowed in. They said that they feel really good about this.
Autopsies now show all 3 of Decker's daughters suffocated. Investigators also found Decker's blood at the crime scene after he vanished into the woods. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Nearly 3 months after a 15-year-old Bonnie Lake boy died of a fentanyl overdose, both parents have now been charged for manslaughter. The Pierce County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says the boy was found non-responsive beside narcotics paraphernalia in March. The 33-year-old boy's father, Nicholas Lee Tucker, faces 1 count of first-degree manslaughter. The 26-year-old mother, Carly Ellie, has a warrant for her arrest and a charge of first-degree manslaughter. Washington spent billions more on schools after the McCleary ruling in 2017, but a new report shows test scores are still sliding. The Washington State Standard says the Annie E. Casey Foundation now ranks Washington 27th in the country. Reading scores have not improved in 2 decades. Math scores for 8th graders are worse than they were 10 years ago, and more than half of preschoolers aren't in school. State leaders say things are improving post-pandemic, but critics say the return on investment just isn't there. Let's get a check on the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk. A slow recovery from this morning. I tell you what, a frustrating drive, even for a Tuesday, which is our heaviest drive of the day. Only 2 major blocking issues. Well, they're minor now. On the I-5 southbound ramp from 164th Street Southwest, westbound, there's a collision partially blocking the ramp. The drive from Linwood into Seattle sitting at about 30 minutes now, so looking pretty good. Heads up, maintenance on the right lane of eastbound Highway 104 at Pine Street in Edmonds is blocked. Expect delays in that area, especially if you're heading to the ferry. The east side has been really struggling to recover from the morning commute, but now we're looking much closer to normal. Renton to Bellevue is 30 minutes on 405. Bothell to Bellevue on 405 is 26 minutes, so that's looking very good. Everett to Seattle, 40-minute drive. And let's get a check on those lake bridges for you. Bellevue to Seattle's 23 minutes on I-90, 25 minutes on 520. This traffic report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest scores, news, and opinions about your favorite teams. And your weather update is brought to you, as always, by State Roofing and Exteriors. We're going to warm up to about 81 degrees in Seattle today. A few breezes going around, but mostly sunny. We're going to have more clouds moving in tomorrow, high of 75, and mostly cloudy by Thursday with a high in the high 60s. Overnight lows all 3 days in the mid-50s. It is 69 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. We sure appreciate you hanging out with us on this gorgeous Tuesday morning. It's going to be in the 80s again. 81 degrees potentially? That's my perfect day.
Yeah.
This is your Chamber of Commerce day. And then we're going to see temperatures drop quite a bit. And then I know a lot of you are going to be happy about that. Mm-hmm. Also coming up this weekend, along with the drop in temperatures, is Father's Day. So in case you forgot or haven't been keeping track of time, Father's Day is this Sunday. And so a lot of you are probably scrambling for ideas when it comes to gifts. And in case you missed it, the Seattle Times asked some local dads to share the best Father's Day gift they have ever received. And we love some of these stories, and we thought we would share some. And then I want to ask you what your best Father's Day gift has ever been. If you're okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So there was one dad who got a rainbow painted chunk of the Kingdome after it was imploded in 2000. So his 5-year-old gave it to him as a paperweight, and he kept it on his desk at Boeing until the day he retired. And it's now on the family bookshelf, a little piece of Seattle and fatherhood history all rolled into one. Love that idea. Mm-hmm. Another dad shared how his son once surprised him with a canoe trip to Duck Island on Green Lake because you've always wondered what was out there. Great idea. Again, something that doesn't cost much, and it's just basically giving your time. And then there's the dad whose rebellious teenage daughter once built him a Buddha garden, a gift that stayed with him even after she passed away last year. And he says he sees her spirit in that garden every single day. So obviously,
Yeah.
not every gift has to be expensive or flashy. One daughter made a Father's Day card with a paper cigar that popped up. Another dad's kids just showed up to play pickleball and spend time together.
Yeah. I think that the best Father's Day gift is something that father loves and appreciates. It's subjective for every other father. I'll just speak for myself. I think the best Father's Days that have had probably have been over the last probably 5-7 years, right? And what that happens is my favorite meal gets made. Maybe there's something.
What
Maybe
is your
it's a
favorite
bottle
meal,
of cologne, salmon.
Ah, okay.
Salmon and salad. But the thing is sometimes I think that, okay, not Mother's Day. This is Father's Day. I think sometimes people want to make it interesting for the gram, and sometimes that the more boring the dad is, the better his life is. The person that eats the same thing every day, they have the same schedule, they like to do these things, so he is usually easy to figure out. There's something. He wants a new smoker. He wants a new grill. He wants a new something that goes in a yard. Like whatever it is. Like that, you just said that duck.
Yes, going to Duck Island, the little island in the middle of Green Lake.
I bet you he loved that.
Yeah.
I would hate that. You know what I mean? I would hate that.
But the idea being just time with your kids. So I've got a bit of a dilemma because not only is it Father's Day this weekend, I've also got family coming in from out of town because we've been pushing to get all the cousins, the first cousins together, and it finally landed, and it's landed this weekend. So they're coming over on Saturday, then Father's Day is Sunday, and then our son's 25th birthday is on the 16th. So it's like we're trying to roll all this, and Father's Day always lands real close to the years of graduations, whether it was from high school or college. So poor Mark gets overlooked often.
Mm-hmm.
And he's already one of those low-key dudes that doesn't want for much. He doesn't ask for anything. Or if he does, he's like, oh, I'll just go to REI and pick it up myself. And then, if you want to contribute to it. It's like, it's so boring.
Mm-hmm.
But I was sharing with you guys this morning that my son is also the same way. I was saying, it's your 25th birthday. What do you want? Or what should we do for your birthday? It's like, Mom, I don't like attention foisted on me. I don't want, everyone, let's just have our family get together. And I don't want a big party. I don't want to. And so it's like, I realize it's really me that's pushing it versus either of them wanting a big to-do. I mean, I think they'd be happy with just showing that you care, showing that you love, showing us. So I need to be better at listening.
So you want the party more than Eric.
That's what I'm hearing. Yes. Yes, and he just...
It's almost like that graduation party that I told you of my sister and her daughter.
Where Jesse Jackson was forced to attend.
Yeah, yeah. And how all of the themes and everything was my sister's idea, not my niece.
Yeah, and
and none of her friends were invited.
Okay, I know. I'm not there. I'm not that far. Mm-hmm. But I am just going to fight my own impulses and just honor their wishes.
So what you going to do for Long Live Mark on Sunday? Get to it.
I'm not going to say it on the air.
Okay, but you got a plan.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I do have a plan. Okay. And he has told me what he really wants.
Oh!
and so I get it. Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, good stuff. Chef, what you want for Father's Day, bro?
Peace and quiet.
Come on.
Kids wake me up in the morning. Hey, Daddy, give me a hug. Just go about my morning without being harassed. And, then I can just selectively, hey, do you want to play some baseball in the yard? Alice, do you want to hang out in the hammock with me?
Do you like their artwork or their little handmade cards? See, I love those.
I do.
Yeah.
But they don't hit me the same as time. Just time where I'm not being demanded something of, where we can just relax together.
253 text in. By the way, this is a first-time texter. Celebrated Father's Day this past Sunday. Our daughter was home from Colorado Springs, and our son and his wife came over for dinner and our favorite card game, Phase 10. This was a great day. See, that's awesome.
That's all. That is wonderful.
Yeah. See? It's all good. By the way,
okay, salmon and salad.
Oh, yeah, just salmon and salad. That's what I'm
And
really
just-
big on right now.
Would you say it's just you also want to just be recognized or something be said just to acknowledge, hey.
And Lillian does a great job of that.
Yeah.
And also some homemade macaroni and cheese. Gotta have that. All right, Ursula, we're going to be doing scenarios next where we judge other people's lives. And somebody wants to know, who should they uninvite? We'll do that next. Gee and Ursula.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
If you have aging parents, you are probably worried about their bathroom. That old tub, yeah, it's a slip and a disaster just waiting to happen. With Bathfitter, you can convert it into a walk-in shower, custom fit, installed in just one day and backed by a lifetime warranty. No mess, no demo, just a safer, better bathroom. And Bathfitter's quality is truly unmatched. They use the very best materials. They take laser-precise measurements. And what that means for you is a bath that is built to last. They have more than 40 years experience, and it's no wonder that they have more than 2 million happy customers, including me. I told you they did a bathroom for my mother-in-law's house. We needed it done quickly, and they were in and out, and the result was absolutely gorgeous. Call Bathfitter today or visit bathfitter.com to schedule your free consultation. And right now, you can take advantage of 0% interest for 24 months.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Someone says they're from Medicare? Hang up. Medicare never cold calls. Offered free medical equipment or services? Toss it. It's likely a scam. Got your Medicare statement? Read it. Spot something strange? Report it. You can fight it. The Washington State Office of the Insurance Commissioner Fraud Prevention Service is free, unbiased, and here for you. Search Washington Medicare Fraud or call 800-562-6900. That's 800-562-6900.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This is Secret Clinical Dominating Extra Stinky Stress Sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Hey 12, Steve Rabel here, voice of your Seattle Seahawks. The wait is over, and tickets are on sale now for our historic 50th season. This season is going to be legendary, with past, present, and future colliding at Lumen Field. Get your tickets today at Seahawks.com/tickets.
It's a brave face we put on. We never want to be any trouble. But you know, getting older isn't all smiles and birthday parties. Sometimes it's facing the fact that we are aging. And you know what? That can be pretty hard. If you need a little support or just want to talk to someone, 988 is here for you. It's free and it's confidential. Call 988 anywhere, anytime. A message from the Washington State Department of Health.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
My sister sent 110 invitations to her wedding, thinking only 60 or 80 would RSVP to the wedding and reception. They have room for no more than 85 people, and she doesn't have the money to pay for more than that anyways. There is a very strict policy of anything over 85 you will have to pay for, but 100 have already RSVP'd. The venue says you cannot add more people either. Her fiance says she has to pick 15 people to uninvite because most of the guests were people she wanted to invite. She thinks some will be no-shows and they should take the chance. She figures if they're only 5 to 10 over, nobody will know the difference. And she's asking me to back her up on it and not tell her fiance. I think the venue will notice, but what should I do? 888-973-5476 is the text line. Ursula, you up to bat first. And by the way, you folks on YouTube, let's start answering.
Okay. I am going to guess that there are going to be no-shows. I would not want to be in the position of having to pick the 15 people to disinvite. Mm-hmm. So I would let it go, and then I would just pay the difference. Figure out a way to pay the difference after the fact. Mm-hmm. Once it's said, if it's going to be 5 or 10 people, I doubt any venue is going to make you turn around unless it's like a fire marshal thing.
Right.
But it doesn't sound like that's the case. So I would take my chances and just, at this point, I would not be saying disinvite, but shouldn't have been in this position in the first place. I mean, I'm going through the very same thing. We were going to have my upcoming birthday party on a different venue, and it was like your maximum number of people that you can have, because it was going to initially be on a boat. And I'm not trying to be I'm just throwing this out there because it's a real life scenario where it was like, what 48 people, including the catering, are you going to choose?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's tough.
I've lived a long time.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people I would be eliminating, including family members. I wasn't going to do it. So I had to make a choice of, okay, I can't have that venue. And again, they should have figured that out in the first place, but now I wouldn't try to disinvite. I mean, that's going to be such hurt feelings. So I would just assume that they're going to have some attrition.
I think this is relatively easy. You don't have to disinvite people, but you can pick a list of 30 people, 40 people, and send them each a unique message that says, Dear Dave and Kevin, whatever. There's always going to be people who are like, yeah, we're going, but, we could take it or leave it. Hey, I'm so sorry. to ask you this or tell you this, but we had more people confirmed than we thought would do so. And so we're over our guest list limit. And so if this is an event that is really important for you to attend, we'd love to have you there. We'd welcome you there. But if it's something you're on the fence for and you have other plans this summer going on, please let me know if you can't attend. And just know that I really appreciate my relationship with you and Kevin, whoever, and let me know what you're thinking. Just be straightforward. You don't have to say you're not invited. Just like there's people who are going to be on the fence.
I will say, Chef, that was a really good secondary thing. And the reason why I call it secondary, because ultimately, it's a no-win situation.
You're not winning.
Because you're not winning. But by the way, I do love the fact that, hey, listen, I would really love you there. I would. But if you're on the fence, just a phone call in general lets them know, oh,
I was on the list.
I was on it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Here's another thing you could do, just to piggyback on what Chef said. Here's another thing you could do. We may have overshot the capacity here. We just need to confirm, because you know how a lot of people will hold off on their RSVPs?
Yeah.
We need to confirm, are you 100% sure you're going to be there? Then you know exactly what you're dealing with. So, send out messages just saying to everybody. You're not choosing those who you don't care as much if they show up or not. Make sure people commit early enough so you know exactly what you're dealing with.
Think about this. Like, if Gabby gets a letter in the mail that says, oh, your second cousin's wedding, we're overbooked, and she came to me and was like, oh, should we go? You know how quickly I'd be like, oh, no, we're out. No problem. No problem. Make way.
I had to, before I get to you, Nick, and Ursula, I think you remember this in real time. In Chicago, there was a game, not a marriage, but it was the game, Ohio State against Northwestern, going back to Chicago, and I had family members and stuff. And then it was one of those where Baby G didn't get enough tickets, and he was like, hey, you're going to have to disinvite. And I was just like, wow.
Oh, man.
Wow. And it's interesting, as we're talking about this, I lucked out. There were two, my aunt and her husband, that eventually could not go. And then there were another two that I said to one of them, right? I have not heard from that person since.
You've now hurt their feelings.
That one. And then the other one, and remember I showed you the text message? And he was like, oh, well, yeah, I'm pretty disappointed, but I understand. And what did I end up doing? You remember? I bought the ticket.
Yeah, you did.
Nice
Nick,
guy.
what do you got?
Well, I wouldn't worry too much about the extra bodies flowing through the facility, especially if management isn't going to be doing any checking in or head counts of who's there, because I'm guessing it's a money thing that's preventing the bigger party. So if it's like trying to find a needle in the haystack with these extra friends you're going to invite, let them on in and have fun with the free crowd increase. Maybe they'll notice later and give you a surcharge, but I don't think they're going to worry about those things. In these moments, just let it go. I think you're going to be fine.
Good stuff. You know what? Somebody just texted in and said that they liked your idea, Ursula. I think that is the best. Hey, I'm calling all the RSVPs.
Yes.
And right now, I need you to commit right now on the phone. You good? If you have anything, let me know, because we're over capacity.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the best one.
Yeah.
All right. Agree to disagree comes up next. Gee Ursula.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rurucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. Northwest News.
With Amazon Business, smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
You know what's faster than your paycheck? Literally everything. It's time to get your pay up to speed. With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors available in select states. Expedited transfer is available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The White House and the leadership of California continue to spar over President Trump's decision to send troops to the state because of the protests over immigration raids.
Los Angeles right now would be on fire, and we have it in great shape. I'm not playing around.
California's Attorney General Rob Bonta insists it has broader implications.
He wants to politically weaponize this moment and use the military as political pawns. And the executive order doesn't even mention L.A. or California, by the way. It's broad sweeping in its geographic application. It can apply to any state. 700 Marines have now arrived in the greater Los Angeles area, and the cost of military involvement is $134 million, according to the Pentagon. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was on Capitol Hill today answering questions from lawmakers. Democratic Congresswoman Betty McCollum of Minnesota.
Active duty military has absolutely no role in domestic law enforcement, and they are not trained for those missions. I ask you, Mr. Secretary, and I ask the President, follow the law.
Asked how long the troops would remain in California, President Trump said today when there's no danger, they'll leave. And he insisted again many of the protesters are paid insurrectionists. CBS's Holly Williams has more on the school shooting in Austria this morning that left 10 people dead.
The suspect in the attack was a former student at the secondary school where the shooting took place, but did not graduate. The Austrian police say the suspect was a 21-year-old Austrian man who they believe acted alone. They say he used 2 guns during the attack and later killed himself at the scene.
New York state lawmakers have approved a bill that would let terminally ill people end their lives. Michael Wallace says that.
It would allow New Yorkers who have been given less than 6 months to live to request a fatal cocktail of drugs. State Assemblywoman Farah Souffrant Forrest is a registered nurse.
You have a right to choose what you want to do with your life, especially at the point where it gets very clear that it's terminal.
New York's Catholic Conference says medical aid in dying erodes respect for life. It's not clear if Governor Kathy Hochul will sign the bill. 11 states have similar laws already. Michael Wallace, CBS News, New York.
The U.S. and China began a second day of talks today in the hopes of calming the trade wars. CBS's Kelly O'Grady is following.
We do expect these to last over the week. And so, yes, it is a very good sign that both sides are talking. And that is a lot of investors are taking heart from that. But we're getting different reads from both sides in terms of how they're going.
And checking the numbers on Wall Street, stocks are mostly flat. The Dow is off just 5 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We are going straight to the Beacon Plumbing traffic desk where we are reporting on a fatal collision. Seattle police are investigating a collision possibly involving a bus that's resulted in at least one person dead. Police say it happened near the intersection of Broadway and Alder, just 1 block west of Harborview Medical Center. We have reporter James Lynch on the way to the scene, and we'll have much more information as soon as it becomes available. And for the rest of the commute, I'm going to call it almost entirely recovered from the morning commute, which is good news for those who suffered through it. The only exception is I-5 northbound from about Boeing Field to 520. That slowing is backing up on the West Seattle Bridge. That was our heaviest route from Federal Way to Seattle, and there was a collision at Michigan Street that's been cleared. At one point, the drive from Federal Way to Seattle was 90 minutes this morning. Now it's down to 39. I-90 eastbound, disabled vehicle blocking the right lane, not causing a major issue right now since it's counter commute, but we will watch it. Getting over the bridge westbound had been an issue with high volumes, but we're going smooth sailing now on I-90 and 520. Delays have calmed down on 405. It is a 28-minute Renton to Bellevue Drive and 25 minutes Bothell to Bellevue, and nothing but green on the map around Tacoma and Olympia. This traffic report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Seattle Sports app. Stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
I'm Jillian Raftery. Good morning. Seattle police are investigating a collision possibly involving a bus. Wait for later coverage from us. We have a reporter on the way, as we mentioned in our traffic report. Our other top story today, search teams could be closer than ever to catching Travis Decker, the father at the center of the massive manhunt near Leavenworth. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has the latest.
Dozens of deputies and federal agents are hyper-focused on areas up and down Highway 97, just 10 miles south of Leavenworth. I asked KIRO 7 TV's Brooke Griffin what she's seeing on the ground.
Heavy law enforcement presence. They could be setting up a perimeter, and out of the 8 days I've been here, this is the most I've seen.
Autopsies now show all 3 of Decker's daughters suffocated. Investigators don't know if Decker is armed. They're asking everyone in the area to lock their doors and take precautions. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A late-night disturbance in South Seattle ended with a man shot and hospitalized. Officers found a 59-year-old man with buckshot wounds to his lower body near South Hardy Street and Airport Way just before midnight. He is expected to survive. The suspect or suspects were not found. A Wenatchee juice company is in trouble for not using enough recycled plastic in its packaging. NCW Life reports Treetop has been fined more than $20,000 by the state. The Department of Ecology says the company used zero recycled content in 2024, which is a violation of Washington's packaging laws. Treetop was one of 23 companies fined statewide. They have 30 days to pay or appeal. Big payday for a Seahawk, just as many camp kicks off. Here's some brighter news for your day. Michael Dixon is now the highest paid punter in NFL history. That's according to NFL Network and confirmed by the Seattle Times. The Seahawks just gave him a 4-year extension worth up to $16.2 million. That keeps him in Seattle through the 2029 season. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Going to heat up to 81 degrees, mostly sunny, absolutely beautiful day. And we're going to get a little bit of a break from that hot weather. We're cooling down to 75 tomorrow, partly cloudy, mostly cloudy by Wednesday at 68. And then we're staying in that upper 60s, low 70s region for the rest of the week and into the weekend. No rain that I can see in the forecast, and overnight lows in the mid-50s. It is 70 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
It's the Gee and Ursula Show. Welcome in. We're grateful that you're here with us. Happy Tuesday, June 10th. Ursula, good morning to you.
Good morning. Hey, just a reminder that we love it when you give us your feedback. Our text line is 888-973-5476. 888-973 KIRO. Hello to all of you watching us on YouTube as well. And if you have missed any part of our show, just a reminder that you can always catch up with our podcast, which I love to say is becoming even more popular because a lot of you say you can't watch or listen during the show and you like to catch up and stay abreast of what is going on with our show. Coming up at 11:30, we have not had a chance to talk about this middle school dance that was supposed to celebrate the end of the school year, but now there's a criminal investigation involved. And we're talking about a group of 5th grade boys that may have done something. So we'll chat about that and more coming up at 11:30. But right now,
Agree to Disagree, brought to you by Garden Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves, just really go at it.
All right, so President Trump said he fired the director of the National Portrait Gallery, calling her too partisan, too DEI-friendly, not his kind of museum leader. But the Smithsonian just hit back with a professional version of, hell no, she's not going to go. They tell the president that personnel decisions are up to the Secretary of the Smithsonian and Board of Regents and not the White House. And they're reminding folks, of course, that the Smithsonian is supposed to be independent, nonpartisan, and built for everyone. So, Ursula, while the Smithsonian's budget is on the chopping block and there's real pressure on the institution, the message is pretty loud and clear. Miss us with your fake firings. And this is different because we've seen everything from, AmeriCorps to the IRS to Social Security to folks within the VA being given pink slips from the White House. But this is the first time I've seen someone say, no, thanks, I'm leaving.
actually,
I'm not leaving.
It's the second time because the Fed chair did the same thing.
Oh, yeah, Jerome
right?
Powell, correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So I
What do
think
you
this
think
is
about?
the second time. And I would love to see how this rolls out because I think that they have a point at the Smithsonian that this is something that is independent. Now, how much do they rely on federal funding is my question. Because
I assume it's probably
all,
nearly all.
Yeah. So this might only go so far. So it may be an interesting gesture, and I love that they're fighting back, but ultimately, I don't think they're going to win out.
Yesterday on the show, I asked you if you like to play chess. Right? And we're talking about that. And I would assume the best chess players in the world are those that on the opposite side of them, whatever move they make, they got something to counter it. And we are seeing this play out with Donald Trump. He has positioned himself in, if you don't do what I want, then there's going to be consequences. Example, I'm glad now that Donald Trump cares about law enforcement and police officers in L.A. because on January 6th, as long as the insurrection was about him, you all know that he pardoned 1,500 of them. And so I guess what I'm trying to get into is that I agree with you. Smithsonian, it sounds good until it doesn't. And you know them federal dollars gonna need to holler. You know what I mean? You're going to need that money. So this is great. I love the start of it. I would like to personally see this through. I would love if you stand up to him and stay there.
Well, you know what happened at Harvard? Harvard stood up.
Yeah.
And Harvard ended up, in many ways, winning. I mean, the president of the school ended up getting a standing ovation during the commencement ceremonies, and the school itself got a bunch of donations for standing up, even though there was a threat of removal. I just don't know that the Smithsonian would be in the same position.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that they need to be. I think that the biggest problem that we're seeing right now is that compliance in advance is cowardice. It's utter cowardice. Because here's the deal. If you want to say, okay, I'm going to take your budget, I'm going to fire all your employees, great, challenge it. Stay there. Make it go to Congress, make it go to the courts, and Congress can take on every single institution. Make them vote on whether they want to defund the VA, whether they want to defund the Smithsonian. And then Congress has to be actually responsible to their constituents and say why they think we should get rid of institutions in America. Because whether you're Republican or Democrat, you should not be controlling the individual positions within a nonpartisan agency that you do not appoint. That is not the way it works. You should not control the budget of an agency that you do not control. Mm-hmm. That is the job of Congress. I don't think Republicans would want a Democratic president to institute mass firings in agencies that he just simply didn't like because they're too Republican. But we'll see where it goes.
If it owns the libs, they would.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the pushback.
Yeah.
And
I always like a little fight.
I wish there would just be more pushback from Congress.
I think we can move on. Okay. Hey, if you're upset with that last part, I want to talk about a liberal idea that could become Republican policy. So it's this idea, they're called baby bonds. And this is in the big, beautiful bill, if you believe that terminology. And every baby in the U.S. would get a $1,000 Trump account, is what they're calling it. Fine with the name. So basically, it's a government-seeded investment account that kids can tap into at 18 or older to pay for school or a business or to put into a down payment on a home. It's tax-deferred. You can't use it for like rent or food or diapers today. Undocumented people can't do it. Ursula, what do you think about baby bonds?
I love it. And just on our text line, a few people were asking, well, how come you never mention anything positive? This is fantastic. And I don't even care that you call it Trump dollars or whatever you want. Whatever.
Did anyone care that Trump's signature was on their stimulus check?
No,
I didn't.
Exactly. So I don't care. I think it's a great idea. I think anytime we can invest in our kids' future, I think it's a great idea. And so I'm all for it.
Yeah. This is scary. And to add, I'm really afraid to what this weekend is going to look like with the military parade, right? So this idea of this account, yes, do I like an account that you can put $1,000 in and all that? Yeah, I love that. But for it to be called the Trump, put the name on there, like he puts it on his cufflinks, like he puts it on his hotels, like everything has been nothing but a sales job in the name of Donald Trump. And I'm glad we're talking about this because I think Donald Trump cares more about how he and his family will be viewed than he does about the United States of America and cohesiveness amongst our country. So, no, I don't like the fact that he's putting his name on his whole baby bonds.
I don't mind it personally. I think the only issue with this is that it's small thinking. If you start this account with $1,000 by age 18, it's like $3,500. If you put $5,000 in that account, then by the time someone's 18, you're talking about $17,000. And if they hold out until age 25, you're talking $27,000. You can legit start a lot of businesses with that in a lot of areas of the country. That's absolutely a down payment on a home. That's a couple years of college at a lot of places. So I'm for it, but we'll see where it goes. And if it will be included in the final package, that is the sauce.
I was in Costco the other day, and I saw this dude with his son, and this dude had a Donald Trump tattoo tattooed on his arm. Of course, no, I didn't say anything. But all I was thinking is like, man, if I was growing up and my dad had a tattoo of Jesse Jackson on his arm, I don't know. Who am I looking up to? Am I looking up to my dad or Jesse Jackson on his arm? I just think it's just so weird to have. I don't care if you have Obama. If you put a president tattooed on your arm, yo, what is that? Okay, maybe help me, Ursula. What is that? Help me.
Well, it's someone who probably voted for this president twice, at least.
In your years of living.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a grown man with a...
I've seen people with weird tattoos. Have I seen a president tattoo?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
All right. On a completely other topic, free-range, grass-fed, organic. That's what American consumers want. Just not for our kids these days. We overschedule them. We put them in all these summer camps. And the New York Times takes a look at the parents who are choosing to do something entirely different. It's called rotting all summer. So basically, they're choosing to forego the high-intensity camps and activities, and they just give their kids weeks of unplanned time.
Oh.
Gee, what do you think about that idea?
Bunch of badass kids.
What?
That's what I think.
Really?
You give a kid, especially little boys, 10 years old, 12 years old, you give them no structure, let them do what they want, you're asking for trouble. In the summertime, no accountability. Ursula, that's one of your favorite.
I didn't hear no accountability. I just heard no structured time.
It leads to...
Okay, I think, and I hear what you're saying, G, but I understand why that is happening because, I mean, you can see there are books and studies done about overscheduled children and kids who have such high anxiety because every single bit of their day is planned, thought through. They have no free agency when it comes to, hey, when are you going to do your critical thinking? When are you going to be imaginative? When are your every second of your life is planned. So I think that is an overreaction to the overreaction of parents who want, they're determined that their kid's going to go into that elite college and they're going to do everything to pack that resume for their high school, graduation so that they can go into that elite college. And so they've got every single minute of their day planned. So much of that causes severe anxiety in children. And kids they might be book smart, but they are dumber than rocks when it comes to life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think you hear of people who go the absolute opposite way, and I'm just not going to schedule anything. Right. And I think that's too much, too.
Well, Ursula, I heard everything you said.
Uh-huh.
And
you still think that it's a...
No, I was gonna just kind of asking and thinking about this. Then when do you turn up the heat? When do you turn up the pressure for a child? What age? So, because what we know, you and I, and us here as adults, we know that life is really hard. I mean, it's harder than what you thought it was going to be.
Yes.
It's hard. So at what age for kids should you turn the heat up in better preparation for them to get out in this real world?
You know your child best. So at each different age, I mean, learning about financial literacy, that can happen very early on, talking about allowance and all that kind of thing and saving versus spending versus investing versus donations. All those conversations can happen age appropriately going forward, get your first job, whether it's doing chores around the house, et cetera, et cetera. You can do all that. But I think we've gone from one extreme to the other, and you have a bunch of kids who are almost so overly programmed that they can't think for themselves anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think that's an issue too. So when you hear people say, hey, just don't do anything. I mean, when do you have time to imagine? Or when do you have... You know what I'm saying?
Time to be bored.
Where do you have time to be bored if every minute of your day is scheduled for you?
I'll take the L on this one. I'll say I lost, but I just want to give a reminder. The United States ain't set up for all kids, and not all kids have the same advantages. And some kids got to work extremely harder. Watch this. 2 times better to get the same opportunity as other kids. So keep that in mind when you have structure for the summer or not.
So Cody from Montesano says, I am living in a different world. No, I'm living as a mom who did it a couple of different ways. And I know with our oldest son that we wanted every minute of his day programmed. And, there is that pressure. There's that pressure. Oh, my gosh, what school are they going to get into? Blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. You need to allow kids to be kids.
Yeah, I agree. I don't remember. I remember growing up, I think I went to one summer camp, and that was because I was with my grandparents for a couple weeks. I remember taking a couple tennis lessons, like at the park, but I don't remember anything else except, going on outings, hiking, and a couple camping trips. But then the rest of the time was, I don't know, just playing outside, and I don't remember being super bored.
Exactly.
I remember loving it.
And every once in a while, it's okay for your kids to say, I'm bored. And it's not up to you to decide exactly what they're going to do. So, okay.
Oh, my God, I'm fighting
here's
this
a book.
right now. I'm fighting this right now. Dad, the neighbors can't play. I'm bored. Not my response. All right. With summer travel ramping up, there is a bit of a workplace etiquette debate coming out. So, first of all, do you set up the auto reply? And for those that do, how about I'm going to delete your message? So people put the auto reply on, and they'll write a message that says, I'm on vacation, and your email will be deleted upon my return. Please resend after X date. Is that brilliant boundary setting, Ursula, or is that like passive aggressive and rubbing your vacation in people's face?
Do you know that for the number of vacations I've gone on, I never put that message out? I have never in my history of working at KIRO ever put a message, I'm out, I won't be responding. The reality is when I'm on vacation, I'll still respond.
Thank you.
Great.
Ursula, thank you.
If
Thank
something needs to be responded to, I will respond.
Ursula, thank you for saying that. I, too, have never put that message up. And actually, when I was down at our class, at our auctioneer boot camp, this was a topic that came up about the email. And the lady class said, sure. You have a policy, and your policy is if I'm on vacation, I don't respond to any emails. If it's on the weekends, I have a policy. Sure. Everybody, she says, you set your own policy. Mm-hmm. But understand that your competition might not have the same policy. Mm-hmm. So as long as you're okay with that, and she says more often than not, you will set that policy more when you work for someone else than you would when you're working for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm working a job. No problem. I'm not answering. See you in 2 weeks.
That's great.
With that note, I'm gone tomorrow.
Works for you. All right, Ursula. So let me get this straight. Some fifth graders was going to have a dance.
Yes.
And then something happened?
Yeah, now there's a criminal investigation.
Wait, 5th grade? Criminal? All right, now I need to know. All right, we'll do it next. Gee Ursula. This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
KIRO Newsradio is right there with you.
A big story developing this morning.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We get the latest live from KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey.
Huge impacts for Boeing and Boeing workers.
The office, the gym, anywhere.
Water, like taxes, goes all the way down to the bottom, so it'll either come out of the employee's paycheck or the lack of raise.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it even harder to get out of debt. Don't let tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, America's America's #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in taxpayer assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Let them fight on your behalf, helping to put your tax problems to rest. Call the tax professionals at Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
And now, tales of another way. You're making your go-to goulash. Salt, pepper, and paprika. But you spy smoked paprika in the spice rack. And your go-to goulash becomes go-go goulash. Sometimes another way is the better way, like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Plus, provide better access to SeaTac. Open soon. Free through summer. Learn more at goodtogo509.com.
Fraud is rampant, and those on Medicare are targets. Medicare never makes cold calls, so when someone calls you and says they're from Medicare, hang up. If you get an offer for free medical equipment or services, toss it. When you get your medical statement, read it. And if anything looks suspicious, report it to the Senior Medicare Patrol with Sheba. Sheba is a free, unbiased service of the Washington State Office of the Insurance Commissioner. If you suspect fraud, search Medicare Sheba or call 800-562-6900.
This could be the oddest gift anyone's ever given me.
But I'll bet you use it.
When the time is right, I suppose.
That's the idea.
A plunger.
An Apollo plumbing plunger.
Free for me?
Actually, free to everyone we visit.
Because?
We believe some things you can do on your own.
And if this plunger can't fix it?
Apollo Plumbing will.
Just like that.
You call, we come. It's fixed.
Wouldn't you rather I just call?
You're welcome to.
Okay.
But for a simple backup?
Something I can solve myself?
Try your free plunger.
I'll admit it's kind of spiffy.
Apply a little pressure.
And if it still won't clear?
Call Apollo Plumbing.
The ready right now plumbers.
Our big blue trucks come stocked full of fixes.
And a plunger wielding plumber.
A clean screen trained and trustworthy Apollo plumber.
They come in a jiffy?
Arriving when promised to put plumbing problems in your past.
And give me a free plunger.
That too.
You know, I kind of like this plunger.
I'm sure it'll come in handy.
Just like Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
If you're thinking about renovating an attic, spending more time in your sunroom, or building onto your home, a Carrier ductless unit is the perfect solution for climate control. It's efficient, quiet, and incredibly flexible when it comes to installation because there's no ductwork required. It's just one more way we're making your home totally comfortable.
Your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer will improve your home's comfort, air quality, and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find the expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Got pickleball game? Play with Seattle football legends in the Champions of Change pickleball tournament on June 28th, benefiting high school athletes. Register at championsofchangefoundation.org/pickleball or donate at your local Safeway.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. 2 people were killed today when a shuttle van apparently backed into an outdoor shelter. This is breaking news at Broadway and Alder on Capitol Hill in Seattle behind Hilltop House, a nonprofit affordable retirement housing program. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch joins us live.
Yeah, at this point, it appears that this was an unfortunate accident, as you said, in the parking lot of the Hilltop House retirement community in Seattle near Broadway and Alder. What we are told that there was an employee in that van. He was backing up and he smashed into a smoking shack that was out in the parking lot. Those people couldn't escape and were crushed behind the van. We talked to SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
The person that was driving the vehicle, they stayed, and right now the investigators are talking to them to figure out what occurred. There is talk that there could have been a mechanical problem with the vehicle.
So they are checking into that right now. They are also still talking to the driver. They say there's no indication that he was under the influence, but that'll be part of their investigation going forward. Reporting live in Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Thank you, James. We'll check in with you later today. Thousands of National Guard troops and hundreds of Marines are arriving in Los Angeles today. The president mobilized them after massive protests over immigration raids. CBS News correspondent Allison Keyes reports.
There's cleanup in Los Angeles after protests over immigration raids turned to vandalism, graffiti, and some looting, and this man says it's not right.
This is destroying the city.
But another resident blames the government for activating the National Guard and taunting protesters on social media.
It is only getting worse the more the federal government is antagonizing.
Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Elected officials and activists in California have threatened to sue to get the Guard and Marines out. Retired General Barry McCaffrey was on KIRO Radio's Gee and Ursula Show and says so far they're just doing their job.
So it's political theater, and it's also a little hysteria on all parts. So far, the deployment of 4,000 federalized National Guard and this 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines are guarding federal property. They're not engaged with riot control.
Here in Washington, a man accused of ramming his truck into immigration agents is now in federal custody. The U.S. Attorney's Office says Victor Vivanco Reyes is charged with assaulting federal officers. He's a Mexican citizen living illegally in Stanwood. Agents with Homeland Security Investigations and Border Patrol tried to arrest him twice. The first time he sped off in his car and agents called off the chase. The second time they say he hit 2 government vehicles on Camino Island. 2 immigration agents were hurt and taken to the hospital. He now faces up to 20 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Washington's Attorney General is joining several others to push for a ban against a gun part they say is illegal. It's called a forced reset trigger, and it lets semi-automatic guns fire much faster. Here's the sound of a reset trigger. Compare that to full auto. Washington Attorney General Nick Brown says they sound the same because they are the same. And he tells the News Tribune the devices violate federal law because automatic weapons are illegal for civilians to possess. No word yet on when a final decision might come down from the court. From the Beacon Plumbing Traffic Desk, let's get a check on your drive. In Seattle, expect delays near Harborview Medical Center. Police are investigating a fatal collision near Broadway and Alder, as you heard in our news report. Other than that, we're issue-free for now. I-5 northbound has mostly recovered from the nightmare Federal Way to Seattle Drive. There's still some slowing from Boeing Field into downtown. That's causing some backups on the merge from the West Seattle Bridge. Federal Way to Seattle's 36 minutes. Renton to Bellevue, 27 minutes. Seattle to Tacoma, 37 minutes. And this report is brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. We are going to be warming up to 81 degrees today and cooling down the rest of the week, although it's still going to be nice. Mostly sunny to partly cloudy the rest of the week. Highs in the mid-70s, cooling down to the upper 60s by Wednesday and Thursday, but no rain in the forecast. Overnight lows in the mid-50s. It's 70 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. I told you we had so much news at the top of the hour, in the 9 o'clock hour, we're still getting to some of our top stories, and this is one of them, because a middle school dance meant to celebrate the end of the school year has now sparked a criminal investigation. This is in Mason County, and according to KIRO 7 TV, the sheriff's office there is looking into reports that a group of 5th grade boys may have inappropriately touched girls and used their phones to take photos or videos of these girls while they were dancing. So all of this happened during a PTA-sponsored event hosted at Hawkins Middle School in Belfair. Students from 3 different elementary schools, Grapeview, Sandhill, and Belfair, were invited to attend. And the North Mason School District posted a statement online saying that the Sheriff's Department responded promptly to ensure the safety of all guests. Please know that this incident is not a reflection of Hawkins Middle School, our staff, or our students. We remain committed to maintaining a safe, respectful environment for our entire school community. And those deputies are now interviewing the students and staff who were there, and they are reviewing surveillance footage from that event. Again, we're talking about 5th grade boys and a dance that was PTA sponsored.
Lack of structure.
I knew. Coming from our last conversation, I thought, okay, here we go. If only they had structured time, they wouldn't have resorted. No. Okay, I want to say 5th graders. Some 5th grade boys do stupid things. Now, going to the lengths of touching girls inappropriately or using their phones, I also know that there were a lot of things, and they need to be taught right then and there. This is not okay. You may think that this is funny, but this is where you've gone way too far.
Yeah.
And I know you shared a little something about kids getting in trouble.
Yeah, I did. I think before cell phones and before phones, as a parent and everything, you're teaching your kids about keep your hands to yourself and don't touch anyone, that kind of deal. Well, for me, personal story, my son was part of a deal, I think it was 6th or 7th grade, where cell phone picture was sent around amongst some boys at the school. And I'll never forget when I got the phone call and I was told about it. At that time, as a parent, I was completely vulnerable. And the reason why I was vulnerable is because I was thinking to myself, wow, I've never thought to cover that topic. I've never had a conversation.
Right.
I never thought about something happening that way. And now my son is involved in that. And all he did, he got the message and he forwarded it to someone else. And
it's like, ooh, that's a violation of federal law.
Yeah. And they were like, hey, but the school was like everybody involved in it. Even the young gal, like they're her parents. Like everybody was like understanding, like these are boys, but yes, it's a mistake. And I even told, I was like, you know what, as a parent, I just never thought about something like this. So here's what I'm saying. That was in like 2012 or 10 or 12 or something like that. This now in 2025, you're going to probably get less grace because we have more education and we're talking about the dangers and there have been more stories about it. So if you have never had this conversation with your child, please have it.
Yeah, have it. And I hope in the case of these kids at this middle school dance, I hope that they got the you-know-what scared out of them and have learned a lesson. I mean, and hopefully, I mean, when they say inappropriately touch, I don't know. I mean, obviously, for the girls, too, it's important to understand boundaries.
Yeah.
You have boundaries. It's not okay for them to do this.
Yeah.
And there are consequences for doing this. Yeah. And so I hope they learn from this right away.
Can I give a sweeping statement?
Uh-huh.
I think boys do dumber stuff than girls growing up. There's just something that's just embedded.
Impulsivity,
maybe. Something. The dumbest things. Like, where you look at your son, or if maybe your parent looked at you and you just like, I don't know why I did that.
Did I,
You know what I mean?
Did I really give birth to you?
Have you ever had that? I mean, no, seriously. Like, why would you do that? And your child just looks at you.
It's like some kids, unfortunately have to get the burn before they don't touch the stove, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And what is it about boys that it's like, why did you do it? Because they double dared me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
If you say, I dare you, that's not strong enough. But a triple dog dare, you must.
Oh, the double
Getting
dare.
each other in trouble, man. Like, whew.
Oh, Steve asked a question that also we brought up in our morning meeting. Why does your 5th grader have a cell phone? I say that's another reason no cell phones at school.
Moms and dads are anxious.
How about this? I've been going deep on all topics today.
Yes.
I promise not to go deep on this, but to Steve, I'll say this. Not all homes are the same. I'll just kind of simplify it.
This is
true. Not all homes are the same.
This is true. Although, man, if you can hold off on the cell phone, hold off is... I will say that is where my kids got into the most trouble. Well, one in particular. It's with the cell phone.
Yeah. Oh, Nick, you ever get... Did you do dumb stuff growing up, Nick?
Not really, no. I mean, maybe I told a fib or two about things, but it wasn't really anything major.
A fib or two?
Yeah.
A fib or two?
Like, did you make that mess in the kitchen over there, kind of stuff?
You want to know what lie I used to tell a lot?
What?
Ursula, I used to tell a lot. I don't know if you've ever done this. Text in if you have. Go take a bath. And I go in the bathroom. I run the water. I go through all the effort of running the water. I'd actually get in there and splash the water. And splash it and sit in there.
That or like washing your hands, just run the faucet a little bit.
Just
the dumbest lie in the world. What?
Wait, how old were you when you went to military school?
6th grade.
Think about that.
I know.
Or did you make your bed? Yeah. If I go upstairs and check, am I going to see it made?
Oh, gosh.
Maybe not.
I don't know, man. I went through a period where I was...
You're a bit of a rascal.
I was lying all the time and getting caught. Like, I think the worst kids are
probation officer.
Man, yeah. I think if you don't get caught lying as a kid, then...
Oh, I got caught.
I got caught constantly. Every time. I got to be a terrible criminal. All right. Text messages, feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's words to live by.
You listen to Seattle's morning news every morning. What do Charlie and Manda listen to every afternoon?
I absolutely love listening to John Curley because he makes you think, which I love.
John has a real special talent in being able to talk about the topics we care about, but he's always trying to make it fun. And you're going, oh, this guy actually gets it.
The John Curley Show, weekdays 3 to 7. Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio App.
Maybe your parents are having a harder time getting in and out of their tub, or maybe it's you who is having a harder time getting into the tub as you get older. It is time to think about updating to a shower. Because that old tub, it is a slip and a disaster that is just waiting to happen. And with Bathfitter, you can convert it into a walk-in shower, custom fit just for you, installed in just one day, and backed by a lifetime warranty. No mess, no demo, just a safer, better bathroom for you. And again, in as little as one day. Bathfitter's quality is unmatched. They use the very best materials. They take laser-precise measurements. And what that means for you is that you are going to have a bath or a shower that is built to last. They have more than 40 years experience, and it's no wonder that they have more than 2 million happy customers. Call Bathfitter today or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule your free consultation. And right now, you can take advantage of 0% interest for 24 months.
We meet by accident, fixing every last dent, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last dent.
Everyone knows about the iconic red-bottom shoes from Christian Louboutin, but did you know they have an exclusive new collections? Yes, it's true. They're not just about red bottoms anymore. They've just released their stunning line of eyewear. Urban Eyes is the very first place in Washington to offer these incredible pieces, and they're in stock right now. Be the first to make a statement. Come in, try them on, and let your unique style just shine. In the craftsmanship, you have to see it to believe it. Mark your calendars right now. Make your mark with Christian Louboutin eyewear only at Urban Eyes. Go see Dr. Dana and her wonderful team in Kirkland Urban. They take all types of insurance, and they're experts at maximizing those benefits for you. Book an appointment easily at myurbaneyes.com.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Feel better, live stronger. Start now.
Roof now, pay later. No payments until 2027. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Since 1968, we've helped homeowners just like you get beautiful, durable roofs without breaking the bank. Book today and lock in summer pricing before it's too late. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Discover one of the new inventions in home comfort with mini split systems from Home Comfort Alliance. Call now for a free consultation and get 18 months same as cash financing. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
Looking for high-quality assisted living that won't drain your life savings? At Care Partners Living, we offer compassionate care at a price that helps stretch and preserve your estate. No unnecessary luxury, just the support you need with dignity and heart. And if you ever need to convert to Medicaid, you don't have to move. With communities across Washington and Arizona, including new locations in Port Orchard, Sumner, Linwood, and North Creek Bothell, there's a Care Partners community near you. Care Partners Living, compassionate care and peace of mind. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and
Gee and Ursula Show. I got to tell you, I'm in an amazing mood. It's been a great show. Ursula always knows just how to say some things to get the mood just right around here. All right, Ursula, you want to start?
Until I don't. Until I remind us of a few things.
Start off with the
like meetings.
text message.
Okay. Okay, back to seriousness. Regarding the ICE raids and the protests in LA, and yes, there is some rioting involved too. Luke from Tacoma says, yes, I voted for this. You have to be here legally or be deported. Hey, and you know what? And I actually responded to Luke and said, thank you for your honesty. I mean, for some people, this is what they want. And so, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's happening. For many people, it's not.
The family member that I talked to yesterday, and I have a few others that want this too.
And I just want to remind you that there was a bipartisan bill for, we desperately need immigration reform.
What happened?
And we will see. And and it was torpedoed by the current person in the White House. And again, I think we all agree we want to get rid of people who are here doing bad things. But we need to figure out a way to get the people here who just want a better life and who are contributing members to society.
Yep.
I'm going to guess that the vast majority of us feel the same way.
Yeah.
Okay, Dawn in Tacoma says, my grandmother was full-blooded Native American, and to the day she died, she would not admit it because of fear of repercussions. So that family history is lost to me because of racism. I understand you, G, and I got your back.
And Seattle says immigrants come to the U.S. without documentation because our government has acted immorally. Congress has not passed immigration reform so that the workers we need can come legally, either permanently or seasonally. The GOP wants cheap labor. Undocumented workers can't ask for or get higher wages. The GOP wants them to come illegally. It's immoral.
And then Ryan says, I used to think that I had a working knowledge of our laws and naively believed that the government would follow the rules that they wrote. I thought our government had moved beyond its past actions, and it makes me sad to see and hear people that I know and respect cheer the violation of our laws.
All right, Ursula, it's fast. It's now time for your words to live by.
So I'm going to make it fast.
Okay.
We talked about grace and giving grace. I don't know who to give credit to for this, but we all need grace, and we could all stand to give some grace as well.
Yeah.
Short and sweet.
That was short and sweet. Felt that one.
To the point.
All right. Brother Nick, what you got, man?
Well, yes, some boys do have the sauce, as G describes for us, while socializing with some friends or flirting on the bus. But fathers, on the other hand, have mostly lost their sauce, so we cheer them up with gifts of neckties or some drawers at Ross. But if you're giving him a booked vacation that's out of town, don't let him send an email, Facebook post that he's not around. We get it. We get it. It's no need to alarm us with your absence. It's okay. We know he's gone.
Come on now. Good stuff. Nick, you got your Father's Day gift for your dad?
Not yet. Usually I just take him out, go golfing, or, get him a gift card or something.
Right.
Something simple.
All right. What's Long Live Mark getting this year?
Oh, don't even.
What?
I already told you. I said I'm keeping it a secret.
Oh.
Hey, but I've got to just say, though, you were asking, we were talking about the dating scene in Seattle and how it's just a very male-heavy city, like the most male-heavy city, male-skewed.
53%.
Yes. And Rick and Kent was saying, what is the sauce? And 253 texted in and said, I married my husband 45 years ago in Greece. He had $1 in his pocket, but he has the sauce.
Hey, look here. Fellas, when you broke and your money acting funny, you need the sauce. All right, Ursula, we'll do this again tomorrow.
Yeah, we will.
Thanks, Chef. Appreciate you, bruh. Nick, always appreciate your help, brother.
You too, man.
Thank you. The Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. By the way, it is Chloe's birthday today. Happy 20th birthday to Chloe. I hope I'm getting that right, as she is on her way driving back to Lake Chelan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
one of our favorites, Nikki,
Yeah.
said, could you do that for us?
So Chloe, happy birthday, girl. All right, we got to go. Appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
You listen to the John Curley Show every afternoon. What does John listen to every morning?
I listen to Charlie and Manda, get my pot of coffee going, then turn on Seattle's Morning News. And I begin to build my show that way. And you want straight news without opinion, just giving it to you with the facts. There's only one place to go, Seattle's Morning News.
The perfect bookends to your daily commute. Seattle's Morning News and the John Curley Show on KIRO News Radio. Download the KIRO News Radio app to listen anytime.
Hey, are aches, injuries, or everyday pain slowing you down? Well, it is time to move better, feel stronger, and get back to doing what you love. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy is now accepting new patients, and no referral is needed. Their expert team offers personalized hands-on care to help you recover faster and stay pain-free longer. Shannon, what is it like to see new patients walk through your doors?
Rock, it's wonderful. You know why? It's because it's an opportunity for us at IRG to make a difference in someone's lives. It's so important that when people come in, they experience engagement, coaching, teaching. We build relationships with our patients, and we want to make it easy. We all know that healthcare has a lot of what I call minutia in it. We have a concierge call center. When you call, we're going to check your authorization, verification, certification, justification. We're going to find out everything we need to know about your insurance, and we're going to make it easy for you because we want you focusing on getting better.
And all you got to do is head over to irgpt.com to find the clinic nearest you, irgpt.com.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi,